Are we ready to start the show yet, or what? Give me a high sign. Give me the high sign, or what? With or without George Napolitano Jr.?
Wrecked him. Hell, it damn near killed him.
Nice. Another great start to the Neil Rogers Show.
Down to the strip joint, fat and go. Stick $1 in the garter of a tattooed hoe.
Good thing he didn't say or.
He said, honey, got money for you. But when you take me back into the private room.
All right.
Yeah. 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 Take your clothes off, she insists. Gonna hose you down like a tuna fish. Mixing up a big roll of this fat. And only by the smell can you tell where it's at.
You fairy.
Huh?
Girls used to handling big fat guys. She know how to make the ball men cry. Fat man shakes with a shout and a howl. It leaves a skid mark on the towel.
Rock solid.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Jack that man with oh, wow.
Huh?
10:03 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you one thing. That's one of the best edited, at least with the stuff he dropped in there. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece, is what it is. A masterpiece. Speaking of masterpiece, anybody watch? I just asked that a moment ago. Your president last night?
No.
Your president did not watch it. Will not watch it. Have no interest. And I thought it was damn nice of him to say that all you schleppers out there that can't afford health insurance, he's going to tax your benefits, which is really nice. Yeah. A hell of a break. You're starting to sound like Renfield a little bit now. All right. Boy, you know what that is.
That's baloney.
That is. I wish I would have known that was on there yesterday when you were talking about the fried bologna. I never got around to the fried bologna yesterday.
Yeah.
I never went to the store. I had no bacon for this morning. I was muy occupado, so I never had a chance to go to the store or buy any bologna.
Oh, well. It'll still be there.
It sounds pretty good. Well, I can't do it today. It's Woodbine Wednesday, man. 2 o'clock, I'll be out of here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. There's that stupid-ass expression again. When in doubt, shake it out. Here's a really good piece of news to start the morning, since we're so newsy on the show. Ex-Duke DA charged with ethics violation.
All right.
Maifong also accused of withholding DNA evidence in sexual assault case. You know what this is like? This was like a triple lynching in reverse.
Yeah.
Is what it was. I hate to put it in those terms, but that's basically what it boiled down to. Raleigh, North Carolina. The state bar has added ethics charges to a complaint filed against the prosecutor who brought sexual assault charges against 3 Duke lacrosse players, accusing him of withholding DNA evidence and making misleading statements to the court. I say hang his ass. Do a Sodom on him.
Mm-hmm.
Get the same rope from Iraq and bring it over here. Ship it over here, FedEx.
Yeah, sodomize him.
The new... Oh, no.
Wrecked him.
I'll tell you, some of you guys, man, are so obsessed with the spending too much time in the orifice. The new charges by the North Carolina State Bar against the Durham... I like that, though. That's a good line. Let's sodomize them. All right. In fact, I say let's let the lacrosse players, the whole lacrosse team, line them up and sodomize them. Bend over, Mike.
Sodomize them.
Yeah. The new charges by the North Carolina State Bar against Durham County DA Mike Maifong were announced this morning and could lead to his removal from the State Bar, according to a copy of the updated complaint. All right. Justice will be done. Thy will be done as it is in heaven, but about all the getchkis all the time. I'm so tired of that crap. This is a cute story. It's not really cute. It's scary. It's shocking.
Oh, my God.
But it's cute. Las Vegas. Isn't everything in Vegas kind of cutesy, you know?
Sure.
What is it with everybody moving to Las Vegas? Everybody and their brother is on their way to Vegas.
Friends in Vegas.
You know, once upon a time, back in the day, it actually once crossed my mind. Boy, I'd sure like to get me a place in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Buy an apartment out there, you know, near Las Montañas, out there in the hinterlands. And the more I thought about it is, you know, first of all, I'd lose my ass the first month. I'd be broke. And then what do you do? You know, I mean, the great cheap buffets. First of all, I'm not into cheap buffets. That's the last thing I need. Now that I'm trying to get spelt.
Pigging out every day.
Right. Anyway, an intoxicated 28-year-old man apparently broke into a secure area near McCarran International Airport in Vegas, stole a luggage cart tug car before being arrested early yesterday. Now, you know what the tug cars are, the luggage carts.
Right. You tug it.
The ones that tug around the big luggage carts.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua Schurman is accused by police of breaching 2 perimeter fences at the Quail Air Center around 4 o'clock yesterday morning. We hit Bruno Tattaglia 3 o'clock this morning. Remember the way Tessio said that? So sad. So sad. He allegedly stole the tug car and began to drive it on airport property. FAA spokesman Ian Greger said the tug damaged the right wing of a G4 Gulfstream business jet. That's not good. Police said he also damaged the fence before rolling the tug into a ditch. He ran and was stopped by the Department of Aviation officers. Schurman was booked on charges of grand larceny, malicious destruction of private property, hit-and-run property damage, and trespassing. All of these things. I like that. So those of you who are worried about security at the airport, forget about it. There is no problem whatsoever. The fact that some drunken guy can get on there.
Forget about it.
That's right. Forget about the security because there isn't any. And boy, the last time I went, I think it was when I was flying back up here.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You go to Fort Lauderdale Airport, you better not be hiding nothing in your pantaloonies, I'll tell you that.
They search them?
No, seriously, when you go through the security thing, there are certain people, including me with my luck, I really look dangerous, like an old terrorist.
With that shaved head, you look real dangerous.
That must be it. Yeah, that's got to be it.
Look like a
so they are picking a few of us out of the line and sending us over to another line where this guy's waiting to pat you down and, really give you a once-over. It didn't even feel good.
Was it heavy patting?
The heavy petting and patting, yeah. Here's the poll from yesterday. 50, and let me just say this, okay, just as a word of warning. You'll see. This could be the last call we ever take on this show.
I don't even see anything lighting up over here.
Hello.
Solomon?
Solomon?
Solomon.
Sodomized? Yeah, sodomized, okay. That could be the last one we ever take. So I just want you to know I have that thing on. That doesn't mean I'm taking any, but it is on. And, of course, line 1 still doesn't work, and QM still continues to be a technical disaster. In fact, we should have a big sign when people walk through the front door there where Freaky Carlos is sitting, warning, disaster area.
Well, I have something for you, Neil.
Yes, sir.
If you decide to go screenless and we have people that are missing calls, I got something.
What do you mean by that? WQAM, hello.
Dad?
WQAM, hello.
How do you know?
So anytime someone misses the call, we can just hit that. We don't have to worry about taking calls again.
Oh, okay, good, very good. Because that's basically it right there. That's pretty much a medley of the people that call this station and this show. Now, the sports callers, that's another breed. Hey, you think the Yankees can win the pennant? You think the new coach is going to get the Dolphins out of the Super Bowl?
What do you think?
Yeah. What's your take? What's your take, on the bowl? Yeah, I got a take on the bowl. I had about 3 of them this morning. Anyway, getting back to a business. Can we get back to the poll on the bowl? 1,541 votes. Other than, and if I sound like I'm in an extraordinarily good mood this morning, the reason is because
you are.
I am. Good. I am. That's correct. And it's Woodbine Wednesday to top it off. I'm going to find me a good machine, man, and I'm going to win some real serious money. Maybe I should play the Megabucks for $4.4 million. Ooh. Other than the government, who is effing you the hardest right now? My property insurance company, 405. But now that you got that break, you got a few bucks off.
Oh, yeah.
30, man.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I
see better about life. The oil company's 228. Price of oil has dropped like a rock off a tall building, and yet the price of gas is still outrageous, unacceptable. That's what I'm thinking.
Forget it.
My health insurance company, 159. No, my favorite now, the new one is...
That's baloney.
Yeah, fried bologna. If we can get her saying that's fried bologna, then we'll have it made in the shade. My health insurance company, 159. My employer/boss, 112. Don't most people resent the people that they work for? It's just the way it is.
I guess. I
didn't resent Dick Casper. And Gary Lawrence. Those were the 2 guys I worked for. And Sid Levin. I should say that because Sid may be listening. Love you, Sid, but, But I wasn't making too much money back then. But I didn't resent him. He was a good guy. Well, he was Jewish. The media, 73. My power company, Florida Plunder Loot, 65. I hate this pool. Only 61, 3.9%. My credit card company, 60. Boy, a lot of choices on this pool. My spouse, 59. My homeowners and/or condo association, 54. My drug dealer, 47. I bet you George voted for that.
No. Starting
to really gouge you.
No.
The drug company is 45. My ex-spouse partner, 35. I know which one you voted.
Mm-hmm.
My cable set... One of my, in fact, the only correspondent I've got that's on that corresponds with me on the AIM instant messaging thing, the AOL instant messaging.
Yeah.
He was asking me about you and about, is your plight really that bad? And I said, yes. My cable satellite dish provider, 32. My girlfriend or boyfriend, 25. My internet service provider, 22. My bank, 17. My kid, 17. My realtor, 8. My doctor, 8. Hey, doctor, how come I got blue lips, doctor? My preacher, rabbi, other schmata-head, Getchke, 7. And my stockbroker, solamente dos. Soltante due. So what I say? Soltante? That's not, well, whatever. I'm trying to do it. Soltanto. See, what a linguist he is, man. He knows that Italian about 10 words. He knows about 20 words Espanol. Wow. Pretty soon he's going to be turning Japanese. How do you like that? 809 votes on the poll today. 809. What sucks most about AM radio? This is another one I was sending, as is the one going to be for tomorrow, which George will change the poll at 5 or 6 or whenever.
Just.
Whenever your little thing buzzes. What sucks most about AM radio? Too many stupid right-wing talk shows, 189. Too much signal interference from other stations. 138. How'd that sound? That's good. AM radio for you. Too much static. Oh, that's 130. I think 2 and 3 there are like, fairly close. Little slop over, like the signals. Not enough Neil, 113. There should be Neil on every station, and AM would be great. Too many Spanish language estaciones, 103. That is really...
Increíble.
And it's also...
That's baloney.
Too many bad shows, 74. That's what I voted for. That's the problem at AM radio. I mean, granted, you've got all of the above. There's static and there's crap. But if there's a good show on, people will make the effort to sift through all the BS if they want to hear a good show. Am I right? I think we're proof of that. Wait till we start doing some good shows. Too much sports talk has got...
About 30, man.
God, oh, brother, is that the truth? No good music, 21. Who wants to listen to music on AM anyway? Sounds like it's coming through a strainer. Mm-hmm. And I hate this poll. Only 11, 1.3%. So one of our chronic poll suggesters, you ought to be, that's a feather in your crap, man. That is really heavy duty. Only 1.3%. I hate this poll. That's mighty low for this very picky crowd. 10:13 at 560 QM. Here's the schedule. We got the Mad Dog again today from 2 to 4. Is he on all week this week? Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, all week.
All right.
Holy moly. The Power Hour with Hank and the Mad Dog, 4 to 5. Hank in the Bahamas at 5 o'clock, plunging his guts out, no doubt. 7 o'clock, it's Hurricane Hotline at GameWorks in South Miami, followed by Eddie K when people are still awake, 9 to midnight. Well, I'm sure glad that Eddie K is still stuck around. He's on there like hours when people might be awake. Are we happy about that? Yes, we are.
No.
Floridians, dumb as dirt.
Thursday night on ESPN 4427. It's the WCSSS, the world-class sissy sellout slapdown. Senator Harry the Mealy Mouth Reid faces off with Joe Bush's bitch Lieberman.
Well, go ahead. Start slapping.
Harry, you have to slap my belly.
Oh, I wouldn't want to offend you in any way.
Oh, it's all right. Part of the game we play.
Well, if you insist. Excuse me, but now you're supposed to slap me back, right?
I believe so. Let me first check with my decision maker. Hello, Mr. President. Should I slap Harry Reid in the belly? Yes, sir. No, just one other thing. Do we still have the 10 o'clock for me to buff your shoes with my tongue? Thank you, sir. I love you, too. Okay, Harry. Show me your soft white underbelly.
Okay. Ow.
Can we go home now?
It's 10:19 at 560 WQAM. That's right, it's almost Valentine's Day. It's coming up, what is today? Is the 24th?
Yeah.
So 7 and 4. 3 weeks from today, I believe, is Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
What is this message I got here on Valentine's Day? This must be an ad. Be ready for several events, conferences scheduled around the state. Oh, it's some kind of a come-on. Well, I'll be damned. I don't want it. No, thank you. El Paso. So anybody out there watched the president last night?
No.
Your president, not my president. Anybody interested?
No.
1,145 members on MySpace. You should be. That's pretty impressive.
That is.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Considering those are people that, solicited us, you.
Solicited. Oh, yeah, we didn't solicit any of them. And I will say, even this, since I have such a great sense of humor today, And that is that, the Agent Provocateur out there that's been playing with my emotions, like not the first one, that was like a real person, but like, and then there was Ethan, that kind of crap. Good taste with the pictures anyway. You have a real good,
gay
eye. Yeah, gay eye for the gay guy. That, yeah. You're not fooling anybody, okay? Pervert. At any rate, there are a lot of perverts out there, and it's nothing wrong with that. Some of them I even like. Many of them. 845 votes on the poll today. Let's take a puke at it. We got 1,000 licked. Even Chris believes that. No sweat.
Definitely.
What sucks most about AM radio? Too many stupid right-wing talk shows, 197. Of course, we apologize for the redundancy about stupid right-wing talk shows. Too much signal interference from other stations, 146, and too much static, 138. I don't know what the difference is between those two, and again, I did not create this poll. I just stuck it. Not enough Neil, 118. Neil should be on every station, and they'd all have an 80 share. Too many Spanish language stations, 109. Too many bad shows, 80. That was my vote, and I think that's the correct answer, being the programming maven that I am. That's one of the reasons that not too many people listen to AM radio, because most of what's on it is strictly, positively, and absolutely crap. That's the answer. That's what I was looking for. Crapo. Too much sports talk, 31. No good music, 21. And I hate this poll. Solamente once, only 1.2%. Undici. Wow, boy, is this man linguistic or what? He's an expert. Pervert. Voters give mayor more power. Frustrated by repeated scandals engulfing County Hall in recent years, Dade voters gave Mayor Carlos Alvarez broad new power yesterday to manage the county's sprawling bureaucracy and the officials who run it. The reason they gave more power is because his name ends in Z. Remember Mr. Z?
No.
I'm trying to forget him. Oh, yeah, from the track. Yes, you do. You don't remember me talking about Mr. Z, one of the stalkers at the track?
Oh, yeah.
It's Mr. Z. Oh, man, everything people hate about New York City, that was him. Mr. Z with that, jeez. He was like Woody.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's going to be really bad about not taking hardly any calls in the future. The next 2 years is not being able to talk to our good buddy Woody.
Well, the good news is I don't see the phone lines ringing anyway either, so.
There's a couple. What do you mean, you can't see them ringing?
I don't. I would have to go reset this computer.
Oh, don't worry about it. I already took that one call. I don't even remember what the hell it was. It was like...
It was one of him. It was him. One of the guys.
It was? I couldn't even hear it. The victory of Alvarez's strong mayor plan, a rebuke of the county commission, will make him one of South Florida's most influential leaders, bringing policy weight and political heft to an office that was rarely more than ceremonial. With all ballots counted, the voters passed the measure 57 to 43% last night. Turnout was a mere 14%. And, of course, it's easy to fix it when there's almost nobody shows up, Thanks to the voters, we just passed the most important legislation in this county seen in 50 years, Alvarez said, speaking to about 500 supporters shortly before 10 o'clock last night at St. Timothy's Catholic Church in Kendall. Let me tell you about my experience at Baptist Hospital in Kendall. I better not. That was when I had mano a mano.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, long ago. I was at W Snooze, and I was living in Kendall. I didn't mind living in Kendall until it got too congested. And then nobody speaking English. It was kind of...
Incredible.
Huh?
Both of those things.
Yeah.
That's baloney.
No, it's true.
Crystal lives in Kendall, I understand. Or even beyond that, don't you?
Yeah, just a little bit south of Kendall.
Crystal?
Chris Still.
You said Crystal lives there. I didn't know your wife moved out. No, you don't have to respond to that.
Okay.
This is not a politician signaling for change, said Alvarez. Hey, listen, all you young guys out there, don't ever get married, okay? Just ask George. He'll give you a little advice. Do not do it. Just keep getting whatever you can
of course, she's making more money than you, and you're going to get a divorce and then try to get alimony like
Elliot Rodriguez.
Yeah,
right.
In that case, go ahead.
Be
a chulo and get married.
He's not going to get a dime. Are you kidding me?
Be a gigolo.
He suffers from lack of ambition is what I heard.
Be like a woman for a change and take some money from them.
Well, I'm trying to do that last part there. This is not a politician signaling for change, said Alvarez, who had made the straw mayor referendum his top initiative since elected in 2004. This was the people speaking loud and clear, he said. The tighter than expected, what does that mean, tighter than expected victory? It was tight, 57 to 43%. Gives Alvarez power to hire and fire the county manager as well as directors of most of the government's 66 departments. I don't understand that. Tight is 57 to 43? Jesus, God, these people at the Herald, they don't know tight. Let me tell you.
Rectum.
He also gains broad authority over day-to-day management of the county's $6.9 billion budget and 30,000 employees. How many?
About 30, man.
The ball is in the mayor's court, said Councilman Chairman Bruno Barrero. Is there anybody who's speaking English who's in the political office in Dade anymore?
Hola.
Used to be all the Jews, and now it's all the Julios. The opposition's most visible spokesman, Bruno, said, I will work with him, sit down with him when he's available to hear his plans and what he wants to do. In fact, they're going to get a twin holer at the county commission. He's going to sit down next to him and hopefully not make too much noise. Alvarez, Barrero, and County Manager George Burgess quickly arranged a public meeting. 10 o'clock this morning. They're probably meeting right now. Wouldn't surprise me. They're having a big powwow. A big confab. A big whatever. Big Simus. Let's see. The New York Times has an editorial on the State of the Union, and Maureen Dowd's got a lengthy column out where she uses the word, pashmina.
Sorry, is that like a flower?
I'm gonna look that up during the break, maybe, if I have time.
Please.
Pashmina, I don't know what that is. It's something. It's like something you wear. It's a piece of female clothing.
Like a tutu?
And she's also got, And she's got also cuckolded.
Oh,
she said no one was gelded or cuckolded or left to bleed on the floor of the set. She's talking about the State of the Union. I missed every minute of that, and I'm very pleased about that.
It's pronounced cuckolded. Trust me, I know.
From experience.
You're right.
26 past 10 at your cuckolded station, WQAM.
Fonte will never get that movie. I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, Wop, Greaseball, Goombas come out of the woodwork. I'm German-Irish. Well, let me tell you something, my Kraut Mick friend. I'm going to make so much trouble for you, you won't know what it is. The walls come a lawyer. I have not threatened. I know almost every big lawyer in New York. Who the hell are you?
On the next episode of Inside UA.
Gentlemen, welcome. As your consultant, I called this meeting to help bring our overall ratings down to a more manageable 1.2. Now, excuse me, there seems to be something moving in my pants. Maddie, what are you doing in my pants?
Thanks, Greg. It's dark and smelly in there.
Here, let me take you out and place you on this table.
Yeah, thanks. Can I play with your ashtray?
Oh, fine. Now, Bruce Beasley is here all the way from Fort Myers to extol his radio wisdom upon us. You have the floor, Bruce.
Why, thank you, Mr. Reed. Hi, everybody. As you know, our goal is to achieve nothing by narrowcasting only sports. Now, there ain't much we can do about that Neil Rogers, since his show is the one that enables us to broadcast anything at all. But that short little old Cuban feller, George, well, he ain't no Neil Rogers. Now, despite his consistently high ratings, he's got to go. Now, everything we've tried up till now hasn't worked. So I propose that when Neil has his days off, we use this contraption I brought along with me here. It's called a wax cylinder machine. A friend of mine, Mr. Haney, invented it a few years back. Now, what we've done here is made a 4-hour-long cylinder loop that's guaranteed to drive most of the audience away. Now, what you do is you turn this here crank handle here, see? And there you go. Better than the taste, don't you think? Sure, he's funny. No, don't turn it off. Let it go. I can see the numbers falling now.
What is he trying to say?
We're number one, damn it!
I knew it. I knew for sure that was it. 891 votes on the poll. Oh, we're going to be way over 900 by the top of the hour. We're going to be like in the stratosphere. You'll see. Oh, and one of my correspondents out there says that if you like the fried bologna, that even better than that.
That's bologna.
Is fried mortadella.
Okay, that's
I never tried the fried mortadella. I do love mortadella.
That's like you've talked about Spam, and I agree with you that it's not for humans.
Are you going to say mortadella is like Spam?
No, but we're talking about frying things. When you fry the Spam, it actually makes it okay to eat.
Ooh. Wow. There's only one other thing I've heard about eating in the last 24 hours that's less palatable to me than fried Spam, and I can't tell you what it is.
Okay.
Okay, the editorial in the New York Times today, it says the White House spin ahead of George W. Bush's 7th State of the Union address was that the president would make a bipartisan call to revive his domestic agenda with bold and innovative concepts. The problem with that was obvious last night. In 6 years, Mr. Bush has shown no interest in bipartisanship, and his domestic agenda was set years ago with huge tax cuts for wealthy Americans and crippling debt for the country. Combined with the mounting cost of the war in Iraq, that makes boldness and innovation impossible unless Mr. Bush truly changes course, and he gave no hint of that last night. Instead, he offered up a tepid menu of ideas that would change little, a health insurance notion that would make only a tiny dent in the huge problem, more promises about cutting oil consumption with barely a word about global warming, and the same lip service about immigration reform on which he has failed to deliver. At times, Mr. Bush sounded almost as if he'd gotten the message of the 2006 elections. Our citizens don't much care which side of the aisle we sit on as long as we're willing to cross that aisle when there's work to be done, he said. But we've heard that from Mr. Bush before. In early 2001, he promised to bring Americans together and instead embarked on his irresponsible tax cuts, a divisive right-wing social agenda, and neoconservative foreign policy that tore up international treaties and alienated even America's closest allies. In the wake of 9/11, Mr. Bush had a second chance to rally the country and the world, only to squander it on a pointless, catastrophic war in Iraq. A catastrophe, a disaster. Mr. Bush promised bipartisanship after his re-election in 2004 and again after Katrina. Always he failed to deliver. He didn't even mention New Orleans last night. When Republicans controlled Congress and the White House, Mr. Bush's only real interest was in making their majority permanent. Consultation meant telling Democrats what he had decided. Neither broken promises nor failed policies changed Mr. Bush's mind, so the nation's been saddled with tax cuts that have turned a budget surplus into a big deficit, education reform that's been badly managed and underfinanced, far-right judges with scant qualifications, the dismantling of regulations in order to benefit corporations at the expense of workers, and a triumph of ideology programs that would mean going up against the arms industry and its lobbyists, something Mr. Bush has never been willing to do. Mr. Bush almost certainly didn't intend it, but his speech did reinforce one vital political fact, that it's not just up to him anymore. There was a big change last night, the audience. Instead of solid Republican majorities marching in lockstep with the White House, Congress is now controlled by the Democrats. It'll be their task to give leadership to a nation that desperately wants change and expects it from leaders to work together to deliver it. The Democrats' challenge will be to form real coalitions and willing Republicans. If they do, Mr. Bush may be even forced finally to compromise. Say what you will about the flaws and shortcomings of the two-party system. After 6 years of the Bush presidency, at least we know it's a lot better than the one-party system. New York Times, ripping him an ass. There's John Kerry, speaking of ass.
How will Capitol Hill for us today? Andrew, thank you.
They don't even want to put him on because he's coma-inducing. Well, you know, I voted for him, and so did more people than voted for Bush. But that's beside the point. The election was rigged. Get used to it. Rigged elections. Well, there's a story about that Mike Nifong.
Durham County District Attorney Mike Nifong.
You notice that guy there? I don't know who that is. That's not him. But the guy with the glasses, that's not Mike Nifong. Is it? No.
I don't know. Maybe he.
But anyway, that looks like Father Gagan.
It does a little bit.
Maybe he's been resurrected, Father Gagan. He's risen from the dead. I knew it, man. Those Catholics can rise it up. Now, what is this that somebody just sent? More time to cross safely in Delray is urged. Carol Marder, who lives west of Delray Beach, contacted the Sun-Sentinel about safety in crossing busy Atlantic Avenue to reach her place of worship. Oh, my God. Marder said that on the Sabbath and holidays, residents of Vizcaya and Murano condominium communities put their lives in danger. If you put your life in danger, you might get hit by a stranger. You know what I'm thinking?
That's baloney.
That's Mortadella, baby. Although there are traffic signals east and west of the area that pedestrians use to cross Atlantic Avenue, Mortar wishes the lights, one of which is at Legends Way, could be timed to give her and others more time to cross. As they're schlepping across the street very slowly, she said a driver recently passed her within inches. A pedestrian cross button would... Oh, what a shame. A pedestrian cross button would not help Marta in this situation because her religious beliefs do not allow the manipulation of electricity on the
Oi!
How do you like that?
Does that mean they can't turn the lights on and off?
You can't potski around with the light switch.
What if you use a stick?
Well, I tell you where to stick it.
Rectum.
I'll tell you that. So when you're crossing the streets in Delray...
What if you use just your foot?
Just dart right across there, okay? Just roll. Just do a rollover right across the street. Just have somebody schlep you across there. Just drag you. Tie one of those Sodom ropes. Those sodomy ropes. 917 votes on the poll, by the way. Not too shabby.
The biggest
for an AM radio station with a really kind of a signal. You know what I mean?
The way he wears his hair, that steely blue-eyed stare, he'll make you feel like a chump. Oh, get ready for more Donald Trump. His fans fancy penthouse suite, his pedicured 2 feet. I wonder who he'll dump on The Apprentice to with Donald Trump. Who will be this season's Omarosa? I wish they'd bring back Sam. No matter who makes it through, Trump won't give a damn. He'll make them look like swine through Georgia and Caroline. He'll make them wanna jump. Yeah, that's the magic that is Donald Trump. A 248-pound lump. Thursdays on NBC. He's back on your TV. He's got a big old rump.
Rectum.
Oh, but he don't care because he's Donald Trump. Has chauffeured limousines. Still wears Jordache jeans. And when he hits a slump, he comes back stronger cause he's Donald Trump. We will never know what it would be like to have a 40-room house, or to be in bed with that hot Melania Knauss. The way he wears his hair, that steely blue-eyed stare, he'll make you feel like a chump. Oh yes, get ready for more Donald Trump. A 248-pound lump.
1046, and of course, what's to like, you know what I'm saying? Who needs them? Hubman and Dreard. 940 votes, 940. Boy, that used to be a great station when I worked there. WINZ, 10,000 watts right there in the middle of the dial. Whoa. Is it 10 or 50,000? I think it's 50,000 now. I really don't know. I think it's the best AM signal in the entire state of Florida. Although I was working at night, though, until I got forced them to put me on the daytime. I was working 8 to midnights, and boy, that signal at nighttime, because it's about 85 different towers. Have you seen the towers out there in, what is that? Is that Carroll City?
Yeah, we see them from here.
You can't see them from there?
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's right. It's not too far, right up the road.
Even if it is too far, you can still see them, you know.
Well, I'll be damned. Well, I would be heading home, which at that time I lived in the Pembroke Pines and Villas Lakes, and I'd be headed home at night, and Bill Calder would be on at midnight, and I couldn't hear the station. I would head out the parking lot and take my right turn, and I couldn't hear the damn station. It would be So anyway, if you're wondering what's wrong with AM radio, 940 votes on there. And what a shame that WYNZ has been turned into all those different things. First, that was Cheap Channel, man, destroying radio as we knew it. That's the main thing wrong with the AM radio, is corporate ownership. Let's put that on there.
All right.
Corporate ownership, man. Cheap Channel. We don't have to put Cheap Channel on there specifically, but they are the Antichrist of radio. WYNZ, and then it was RFX, Fox Sports, and then Schlock. In fact, what was it before that? Because remember, Rick and Scud were on there in the morning, and Mr. Ego, and they tried to make it into like a local talk station. Do you realize, I want to tell you this right now.
Okay.
Mark it down, right on your limp wrist.
I'll get my
right
phone.
now, that this show, I'm trying to think of, FTL doesn't count, it's not even in the market. It's like Palm Beach or something like that, and they have like a point something, .000, a lot of O's. There's no other non-sports talk show on the radio in South Florida, in Dade or Broward. Am I right?
No, I know that for a while now.
And it just dawned on me. I must be a little slow, you know? I must be slow. Maybe too much fried mortadella.
You'd think that the market would be wide open for a local talk station.
There is not one other local non-sports talk show in South Florida. Of course, I'm talking about non-syndicate. I'm not talking about Rush and all that other right-wing crap. I'm talking about a local non-sports talk show.
We have no local general interest talk show.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What are you thinking?
Oh, my God.
Wow. So anyway, Maureen Dowd's got the word, she's got not only cuckolded, how is it, cuckolded?
Cuckolded.
What does that mean?
When your wife cheats on you, you're a cuckold. It's a kind of creature.
She said no one was gelded or cuckolded. Well, we'll get to our article in a minute. But she also, because she always uses these words in there, which I can't pronounce or I don't know what the hell they mean. And again, knowing the rocket scientist that I am and the National Honor Society student that I was 400 years ago, I'm supposed to have been a genius. What happened? Pashmina is an almost generic name for accessories made from a type of mohair. Mohair. Oh, my God. Now I know where he got that piece. It was a pashmina. Mohair.
Maybe he sold his hair.
The more hair he put on there, the more ridiculous it looked. Oh, sorry, Mo. He's listening right now. Sorry. Go out and play some mahjong. It's a beautiful day, I'm sure. It is here, man. The sun is shining. It's only like -3 or -4, something like that. Like in the 20s. Made from a type of mohair that's obtained from a special breed of goat. Hey, you old goat. Indigenous to the high altitudes of the Himalayan range belt of Asia. The name comes from pashmina, made from Persian wool. Pashmina, wool. The special goat's fleece has been up for thousands of years to make high-quality shawls that also bear the same name. The Himalayan mountain goat, Kappa hircus, sheds its winter coat every spring, and the fleece is caught on thorn bushes. One goat sheds approximately 3 to 8 ounces of the fiber. Villages will scour the mountainside for the finest fleece to be used. Cashmere shawls have been manufactured in Kashmir. Remember that expression that they use in Norway, Kashmir and Tochas. And Nepal for thousands of years, but the Indians never called them pashmina. They were properly called Kashmiri wool shawls. The test for a quality pashmina has been warmth, feel, and the passing the shawl through a wedding ring. Passing the shawl through a wedding ring? Boy, I must have some big fat fingers, I'll tell you that. Pashmina is an indigenous Nepali word which only became popular after the so-named shawls woven in Nepal started becoming popular in the West. What are commonly thought of as pashminas have their origin in Nepal, where the people have a cultural heritage of hand-weaving pashmina shawls with the well-known fringing and hand dyeing.
I'm dying over here.
So there you go. That's pashmina. Well, we're going to have to start doing this, going on to the internets,
right,
and finding out the meaning of all these words that she uses, because Maureen Dowd says a case of hearing without listening. Her comments on your president's grotesque State of the Onion message last night. Didn't see a word of it. Didn't hear a word. I don't want to know from it. I don't want to see from him. He gives me spilkies. She says, Madam Speaker didn't lean over and boink the president on the head with her gavel or garrote him with her red pashmina. No one was gelded or cuckolded or left to bleed. How do you say it?
Cuckolded.
Cuckolded or left to bleed on the floor of the Senate. As HBO's Rome, as in that thing, that other gory saga of a declining empire with people who can't stop talking. Still, the nation's capital had the aroma of treachery as former allies brutally turned on one another, despite W's attempt to salvage his presidency last night by changing the subject and going all domestic sensitive. Washington was more consumed with betrayal than substance. The city was riveted by opening statements in the Scooter Libby trial where the aspens were turning but not in clusters. Scooter's lawyer claimed that the White House had made his client a scapegoat in the Valerie Plame case to protect Karl Rove because boy genius, as W calls him, was critical to keeping the Republican Party in power. In light of the 2006 debacle, the White House might have been better off saving Scooter and making Karl the fall guy. Vice got an extra dose of unflattering limelight in the debut issue of the Politico at Capitol Hill publication. In an interview with Roger Simon, John McCain stopped pandering to the White House long enough to lambaste Dick Cheney for stirring a witch's brew of a terribly mishandled war. What took the brave senator so long? The president listened too much to the vice president, he said, adding, of course the president bears the ultimate responsibility, but he was very badly served by both the vice president and, most of all, the Secretary of Defense. At a critical hearing yesterday, senators happily blew a chance to grill Lieutenant General David Petraeus, W's choice to try to rescue Iraq, and whether those 21,500 additional troops will be cavalry to the rescue or lambs to the slaughter. Why dwell on the most consequential elements of American strategy when they can linger over something even more repercussive, their own political reputations? Hillary Clinton, who dodged a recent important Iraq hearing by flying to Iraq, didn't have any questions at all for the general. She simply lectured him crisply on her belated discovery that the administration has a dead end and a blank check policy, as she tried to seem like the kind of gal who could command the most powerful military on earth. This is odd from someone who's running infomercials on her website promising a conversation. In their questioning, Senator Drew Lieberman and Mr. McCain seemed most interested in enlisting the general's prestige for their own campaign or to discredit colleagues in both parties who are tired of passively watching W's disaster unfold. If the Senate sends the additional troops but conveys the belief they can't succeed, Mr. McCain asked, what effect does that have on the morale of your troops? It would not be a beneficial effect, the general replied. Senator Drew Lieberman also asked whether a Senate resolution expressing disapproval of the surge would give the enemy in Iraq encouragement that the American people were divided. The general agreed. That's correct, sir, he said.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Much of the rest of the hearing was squandered in attempts by Democrats and Republicans who had criticized the war to get the general to back away from his opinion that their troops would be hurt and the enemy emboldened by any impediment that the legislative branch might throw in W's way. Honorable people have different views and they'll voice their criticisms, chided John Warner, who presented a bipartisan resolution on Monday declaring that the Senate disagrees with the plan to augment our forces. He told General Petraeus that as President Nixon's Secretary of the Navy, he had sat where the general was, justifying another impossible war. I hope, he warned the witness, that this colloquy has not entrapped you in some responses that you might later regret. In other words, as we would say to Greg Reed, liar, liar, your pantaloonies are on fire. The fact that Senator Warner attacked the surge in a formal way means that a substantial majority of the Senate are willing to stick their necks out. It's just like Sodom had to. It's the beginning of a slow procession to limit spending on the war and rein in Mr. Bush. As one does in a job interview, the general tried to oblige everyone. After getting caught in a political minefield, he demurred that he had learned that minefields are best avoided and gone around rather than walked through. The poor man, he probably thought that he came all this way to talk about how to fight the war, not how to talk about the war. Well, what a good reading right up until that last sentence. Well, it's like blowing a punchline in a joke, you know? It was really good right up until the very, very ass end.
That's baloney.
The ass end. Hey, listen, trust me, it's not. Okay, it's not Oscar Mayer. Let me ask you a question about that. Then on second thought, maybe I better not. 963 votes on the poll. Not too shabby, man. Now, do we add corporate ownership, too? Corporate owner. Look at that. China crashes. What is that?
15% of all global road fatalities. And the government says most are caused
by... What kind of a voice is that, besides one that doesn't belong on here? One of those constipated British-sounding voices? We don't want to hear that in North America, okay? We don't want to hear constipated-sounding Brits because they give us the schmitz.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is
You know what it is?
That's Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Sense.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
That's baloney.
This is your brain.
Forget it.
Any questions?
Tonight on Dirty Jobs.
I'm at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, the central command center for wars we wage in the Middle East. With me is General A.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yes, sir. First initial A and...
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm surrounded by impressive but very clean control panels and viewer screens. It doesn't look like I'm going to get too dirty here.
You'll feel plenty dirty when you're done.
Explain what we're going to do.
Okay. We're gonna bomb Somalia and start what's called a proxy war.
Somalia? Since when are they a threat?
Not a threat. We just got word they got oil.
Oh, I should have guessed. The president ordered this?
Yes, sir.
Isn't he supposed to ask Congress first?
Nah.
Okay, right.
Okay, we deployed an AC-130. It's now approaching the target.
Now, what is the target?
Oh, just some innocent civilians. Try.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, no. Don't worry about that. We got our media on standby to say it's an Al-Qaeda cell or something like that.
Great. Well, what exactly is my dirty job today?
Well, you just push that go button when I give the order.
This button here?
Yes, sir. Push it now. Now, you see that screen over there? The green screen.
Yeah.
We just fired upon that village. I'd say there's, 20 or so dead, including one little boy. See there? Take a look. Our satellite zoomed in on the boy's grieving mother. Makes you proud to be an American, don't it? You all right?
I think I'm going to puke. Supremacists conquering the globe. Now that's a dirty job.
It's 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. Mad Dog at 2, and then the Power Hour, and then the Humper at Gulfstream. Did I read that wrong before? Oh, that's right. Tomorrow he's in the Bahamas. I was reading tomorrow's schedule. Well, I'll be damned. I'm trying to push the week ahead, I was trying to make it into Thursday. Wouldn't that be sweet, huh? I'll be damned. Humper at Gulfstream 5 to 7, Eddie K 7 to 10:90. Yeah, I read tomorrow's schedule on there. And Clarence didn't come running in saying, "What's he reading on here? That's not the schedule." He didn't do that, did he?
No, Miguel did.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to correct you next time you read it wrong.
Miguel really did?
Yep.
But I didn't hear you the first time, and I didn't hear you this time either, so.
Because you're not paying any attention, because they're sport shows, and you want to participate because you're a hard-ass, that's all.
What?
977 votes on the poll. Now, somebody's got another category for the poll here, which I think is an excellent choice. Too many religious stations.
Oh, yeah.
To which I would say, oy vey.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God!
That's right. Too many damn Getchke stations, man. Too many religious stations. AM has become a cacophony of swill is what it's become. See, I'm old enough. I'm an old fart, so I remember the day when AM used to be great. WLS, WABC, WRKO, WBZ, CKLW, all of these things. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if I got some CKLW. Well, of course we do have some CKLW.
CKLW yesterday.
Jingles.
CKLW Motown Sound. From 77 WABC. Go!
Gold. So, I mean, the punks today, they can't imagine there were once upon a time everybody listened to AM because FM in the first place didn't exist, and then when it finally did exist, Although FM was always there, but there was like, in fact, when I was a kid, I had this big table model Philco radio, big white radio.
Okay.
And it was AM, FM, and shortwave.
Yeah.
And you could hear like Radio Moscow and all this really, the Voice of America on shortwave. And it was really, it kind of sounded like our signal today, you know.
I had a little shortwave set there for a while.
Underwater. And on FM, there was just, I don't remember what that was on there, basically nothing. Like maybe classical music or some crap like that. 983 on the poll. We're going to have 1,000 before the bottom of the hour, maybe after the next break. There's your president again. They're all high-fiving and shaking hands. They ought to be like spitting in his face saying, you butcher, you murderer, you lunatic. And instead, they're all, ha. That's America for you, man. It's very sad. Here's some good news, though. Democrats took the first step toward a wartime repudiation of President Bush today, convening a Senate committee on employment of additional troops to saying deployment of additional troops to Iraq is not in the national interest. Well, this is also chopped off. Well, it's you know something? It's CNN. There's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is the best I can. In addition to which, for the price that the audience is paying to hear the show, which is nothing, whatever they get, look at that. Right direction, 67%. Wrong direction, 27%. Bush policies will move country and the speech watchers. Oh, brother. Of course, you know who the people are who watch the speech, don't you?
That's
people
right.
who kiss his ass. We better be damn sure we know what we're doing, all of us, before we put 22,000 more Americans into that grinder, said Senator Chuck Hagel of Nebraska. Senator Joe Biden of Delaware, the panel's chairman, said the legislation is not an attempt to embarrass the president. It's an attempt to save him from making a mistake with regard to our policy in Iraq, another mistake. Less than a month after taking control of Congress, there was little doubt the Democrats had the votes to prevail. The full Senate scheduled to begin debate on the measure next week, although Biden said he's willing to negotiate changes and yada, 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 whatever. So there you go. So they're finally starting to stick it to him. Do it. Do it now, okay? Stop the butchery. Stop the lunacy now. If those schmata-heads over there want to kill each other, let them have a good time. It's just like in the Middle East, the same thing. If the Israelis and the Palestinians want to kill each other, hey, have a good time. Geggesunterhate, as they say in China.
Right.
Isn't that what they say?
Well,
George, by the way, has got a buddy in China that he confabulates with on what?
Yahoo Messenger.
You're on Yahoo Messenger?
Just for that occasion.
You better not stick your nose in my Yahoo Messenger when my buddy Brandon and I are on there. Of course, we're not doing that. We're doing the AIM now. We aim to AIM.
My chat cup runneth over, so don't worry.
Yeah, well, don't be trying to interrupt there because I'm getting all that stuff about mortadella and fried.
That's baloney.
Yeah, stuff like that. Important stuff, you know. Anyway, let's get back to business, okay? 11:06 at 560 WQAM. 1,145 members on the MySpace thing. Well, that's really amazing. And let me just make a little statement here, just an aside. It's not a big deal. Well, to me, it is a very big deal. But I've got all these naysayers out there. Everybody's an expert, and I'm including some people that I know. Some of my close personal friends who have said to me, "Oh, nobody ever makes a friend on MySpace online like that, you know." Okay. And you want to know what my response to them is?
That's baloney.
Right, that's my response. I got two wonderful friends on there, two great friends, too close, so close that it's almost embarrassing, and it's a major miracle. So actually, there are some nice people in South Florida, and you have to sift through about 2,000-3,000, and you find one or two nice ones.
Sift is a good word. Like
there are a lot of nice people that have been on our thing there. Believe me, trust me, nice messages. People have listened for years and years, and it's a wonderful. And I'm back to answering every one of them. Very briefly. Well, I'm not going to spend hours every day. I don't have my time. I don't have hours every day. I'm too busy on the damn AOL Instant Messenger now. Bop, 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 beep, beep. Oh, brother. It's okay. Kill some good time. And it also keeps you from eating. You ever stop and think about that? Although you could probably fry up some bologna and mortadella while you're instant messaging.
I can type with one hand.
Can you? Howard Hunt is dead. That's good news. What a slimeball he was. In fact, there are always... I don't think that says anything about his alleged role. Oh, yeah, it is in here. E. Howard Hunt, an enigmatic figure in 20th century American political subterfuge, has died at the age of 88. Oh! The AP says. Boy, 88. See, the people like him lived till 88. Hunt, who had a key role in the Watergate Hotel break-in that led to the eventual resignation of Richard Nixon, succumbed after a lengthy bout of pneumonia, the AP quoted his son Austin, or some people would say pneumonia. Aside from his part in Watergate, Hunt was a WW2 veteran, longtime officer in the CIA, and a prolific author of spy novels. According to an online biography, in 1951, he hired William F. Buckley, Jr. as a CIA agent working with the Mexican student movement. Buckley and Hunt remained lifelong friends. Remember William F. Buckley? What a constipated turd.
Self-important fat guy.
Earlier this month, Raw Story reported on Hunt's upcoming book in which he speculates that President Lyndon B. Johnson may have played a key role in the assassination of President Kennedy. Hunt was often implicated himself by conspiracy theorists for having a part in the assassination. That's what I was going to say. E. Howard Hunt. So there you go. Another one of those lunatics in American history. Roy Cohn is dead. Gay Edgar Hoover, he's dead. Joe McCarthy, he's dead. See that? Dick Nixon, he's dead. Ronnie Reagan, he's dead. Here's a really good story for all you dog lovers out there. Pet shop owner creates beer for dogs. There's ice cream for dogs.
Yes, there is.
Oh, Tiny used to love that.
Frosty Pies.
Frosty, that's the one. That's what Tiny used to love. You know what? The favorite thing we used to do is get a can of whipped cream, like we would put on strawberries or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And take a can of whipped cream and take it out of the refrigerator. He would come running like a man. When you would shake it up, and then when you hit the nozzle, and nothing coming out yet, but it would make that sound, that he would just go bananas.
Our dog hates that sound.
Does he really?
Any kind of compressed air sound like that, those little things you.
Well, that's because he probably thinks you're farting.
Yeah, that must be it. He likes that.
Of course, we all know that dogs don't fart.
Right. Even 5-pound Pomeranians.
It's got a picture here of Benito, a 5-year-old Chihuahua, drinking beer from a bowl in the southern town of Holst, Netherlands. This, of course, as you would expect, is in Nederlandsman in Holland. All those perverts over there. I love it. Terry Burrenden, a pet shop owner in the town of Zelhem, created a non-alcoholic beer for the Weimaraner dog made from beef extract and malt. This is from Amsterdam. And Chris has been in Amsterdam. I bet you weren't watching dogs drink beer, though, were you? I bet you were probably drinking some of your own.
Yes.
You know, it's amazing to me when you get up. Well, of course, you don't get up in the morning if you're smart there. You get up at least at noon. But if you get up in the morning at like 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you're walking around, like at the Grasshopper there, right by all the red light district, kind of like the entranceway from the dam rack to the red light district and all that perversion. Oh, my God, so much perversion, thank God. And the Grasshopper, which is a very popular bar, and there are all these, especially the Brits, but others as well, and the Germans. Well, Germans drink beer for breakfast. And at 9:30 in the morning, they're already boozing it up, you know? Them silly-ass Brits. Because the one thing that the Brits love to do that come to Amsterdam is loud and drunk. They have to be the loudest, the drunkest. You know, the what do we call the neck? What do we call those people? The thick necks.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, with the big fat heads?
Sure.
Those are the Brits, for the most part, that come to Amsterdam on the weekends. And they make a nuisance of themselves, and I hate them like poison. Anyway, after a long day of hunting, there's nothing like wrapping your paw around a cold bottle of beer, it says. So Terry Berenden, a pet shop owner in the southern Dutch town of Zelhem, created a beer for her Weimaraners made from beef extract and malt. Once a year, we go to Austria to hunt with our dogs, and at the end of the day, we sit on the veranda and drink a beer. So we thought my dog has also earned it, she said. Berenden consigned a local brewery to make and bottle the non-alcoholic beer, branded as Quispel beer. K-W-I-S-P-E-L-B-I, Quispel beer. It was introduced to the market last week, advertised as a beer for your best friend. Quispel is a Dutch word for wagging a tail, as in 2 shakes of a dog's tail. Now, how come they never said 2 shakes of a dog's tail? Why is it 2 shakes of a lamb's tail? How about 2 shakes of an elephant's tail?
Ooh. Huh? All right.
The beer is fit for human consumption, Bernard said, but at €1.65 a bottle, that's €1.65, that's $2.14 a bottle, it's about 4 times more expensive than a Heineken. So isn't that something? And that's the kind of thing that we do with our dogs. I think that most people are like that, including me. You lavish all kinds of generosity on your dogs, but for people, who gives a crap? Am I right?
Right.
In fact, I know a lot of people that feed their dogs better than they eat their own diet. I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of people out there eating fried mortadella while they're feeding filet mignon to their pets.
That's baloney.
Oh, and look what we got on the poll, boy. What a great day it's going to be at Woodbine. Everybody should wish me a good machine, man.
Oh!
1,000 votes on the poll. Just as I looked over there. Don't you think that's a really good Oldman?
Yes, it is.
I think I'm going to find the big machine. Maybe I'll play the, today? The Megabucks with a $4.4 million jackpot. If George is here tomorrow, you'll know I won.
New on Fox from the creators of Dancing with the Stars.
Well, everything you do just captivates us.
It's Drinking with the Stars, starring Danny DeVito and Paula Abdul.
A fine, fine, fine individual.
Listen, any publicity is good publicity. You gotta learn to eat it up and embrace it and say, this show's gonna ruin the music industry.
Drinking with the Stars, packed with more of the celebrity shame we need to make us feel better about ourselves.
You're gonna see what we're talking about.
Tonight on Fox.
I knew it was the last 7
limoncellos that was going to get me.
And I love it.
That's baloney.
Hey, this business with limoncellos, you notice every spot now they're talking about limoncellos. I don't even know what the hell it is.
I don't even.
You don't really?
No, I don't.
What about you, Chris? Are you into limoncellos?
No.
How about lemon jello?
Okay.
Which is really easy to take that Presto antifreeze and put that in some lemon jello.
Glycerin.
Keep that in mind, okay? Just
I thought about
that. I'll bet you did. More than once. 11:18 at 560 WQM. We're having fried mortadella for lunch. What's on the... Oh, I bet you it was Char Wednesday today.
Yes, it was.
And what did you guys get? You get fed?
Well, we shared some chicken fingers because we're off the menu. Duff was overdoing it, so we're cut out. But he did share his food with us.
Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what that is.
That's baloney.
That's for damn sure.
We have our own ways and means.
I don't understand. I mean, you gave them some nice plugs and everything else.
We love Char Hut, right?
Right. They just don't love you.
I don't know what, if anything, it has to do with
Duff,
that.
you fairy.
He felt that he was overdoing the volume.
Oh, he felt that he was overdoing the volume. That sounds to me like that whole syndrome all over again about let's get the tapes on and George is a jackass and we hate George like poison and let's not feed George. Now, why does Chris have to suffer because everybody hates you?
That's a very good point. He should probably disassociate himself with me as much as possible.
I heard that Chris hates you too. Isn't that right, Chris?
I love George.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm so sorry. It just dawned on me that I saw that picture of Chris that you sent me yesterday. Why did you do that? See, you may love George, but I don't think he loves you, or he wouldn't have sent me that picture.
I love Chris.
That's a very unflattering picture. I'm not saying that there could have been a very flattering picture, but that's a very
drink beer.
Unflattering picture. He looks like a fat tub. But he's losing weight, man. He's lost 35 pounds.
Yes,
In fact, he's losing it like crazy. You and me both, man. Highly motivated to lose that weight and look and feel great. Wait till you hear this. Support grows to make English official.
Increíble.
Well, I wonder if they've heard about this in Dade County. The push to make English the nation's official language is building momentum. With a congressional bill on the horizon, 7 states pushing legislation to make English the official language or strengthen laws already in place. There's been so much, let me say it again, there's been such strong support, said Representative Steve King, Iowa Republican, and it's gaining momentum. Mr. King's expected next month to reintroduce the English Language Unity Act, which seeks to make English the nation's official language. However, he said the timetable had been postponed until House Speaker Nancy Pelosi could complete the Democrats' first 100 hours agenda. Nancy Pelosi has us under martial law, he says. The states have been wonderful on this, said Jim Boulay Jr. Sounds French to me. Jim Boulay? Huh? Poulet? Executive, oui. Oh, can't say that. Executive Director of English First, an organization that supports making English the official language. The problem isn't getting bills passed, it's getting them enforced. Mr. Boulay described Mr. King's bill as a good first step. In the last session of Congress, Mr. King drafted similar legislation and counted 160 co-sponsors, placing the bill in the top 2% of co-sponsored legislation. Although control of Congress has switched hands, the bill's advocates say the issue has broad bipartisan support. We don't necessarily expect them to jump in and say they support this unanimously, said Rob Tunkel, spokesman for U.S. English, Inc., a group that supports making English the official language. The legislation would not bar private businesses or individuals from using multilingual material, but it does seek to prevent federal funds from being spent on such efforts. Multilingual. Mr. King has long been an advocate of English language laws. In 2007, as a state senator, Mr. King authored a successful bill making English the official language in Iowa. Oh, my God, your people better stay out of Iowa. I'll tell you that right now.
Sorry? My people.
The bill was signed by then-Governor Tom Vilsack, who's now a virtually obscure and unheard-of candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination. Mr. King on January 10 filed a lawsuit in State District Court in Iowa against Governor Chet Culver and Secretary of State Michael Morrow, both Democrats, for violating Iowa's English language law. The lawsuit accuses Mr. Culver, who served as Secretary of State before running for governor, and Mr. Morrow of illegally placing voter registration forms and absentee ballot request forms on Iowa's Secretary of State's website in foreign languages. Meanwhile, English language laws have been introduced by state legislators in Georgia, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, and Oklahoma. Similar legislation is expected to be introduced in other states before the end of the month. Culpeper County in Virginia and Cabarrus County in North Carolina. That's not by you, is it?
I forget.
Have introduced their own English language proposals as well. Well, who the hell in North Carolina wants to speak peek at a pond? Well, you told me you got a lot of
beaners. No. What I said was there were a lot of beaners doing a lot of day labor. Now, in our particular area, yeah, there's Cubans buying up property and stuff. But guess what? They speak English.
You people are reproducing like the Muslims.
Mm-hmm. There ain't no stopping it.
Last month, voters in Arizona passed legislation making English the state's official language by a margin of more than 2-1. The people have been well ahead of the politicians on this one for a long time, Mr. Goulet said. I wonder if he's kin to Robert Goulet. Isn't he dead, Robert Goulet? I don't know.
I don't think he is.
And I don't really care. His music was... he had
music.
a great voice, but his crap was not my cup of tea. Sorry. Although immigration legislation remains stalled in the halls of Capitol Hill, some supporters of making English the official language say that ambiguity has had unforeseen benefits. INS had a record number of people applying for citizenship last year, Mr. Tunkel said. The Department of Homeland Security citizenship, and by the way, there's supposed to be another fire drill. I don't know whether it's today or tomorrow, between 10 and noon. It could happen any second. Is that Doris Day?
Well, it said Robert Goulet, so I figured, there he is.
No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. All right, enough of that. Is that more Robert Goulet?
Yeah. You know, I had more in here than I thought I did.
Well, I'm so sorry.
Because I had some, and I thought I had none.
Forget it!
Don't be afraid of...
Woo! Forget it! Forget it!
Okay, enough with her. The Department of Homeland Security's Citizenship and Immigration Services said there was an 18% increase in requests for citizenship applications during the first half of last year compared with 2005. Similar surges have followed a tightening of illegal alien laws passed in states such as Arizona and California. After California passed its Prop 187 in 1996, a total of over 378,000 people were naturalized. That was more than double the previous year's figure. This is the strongest push for official English legislation I've seen in 15 years, said U.S. English Chairman Mauro E. Mujica. M-U-J-I-C-A, Mujica, right?
Sure, whatever.
I hope the jumpstart that this issue has received will pay dividends in the near future by making English the official language and knocking down the
We're doing it with the amount of food
he was
ordering.
Why doesn't he cut them off that are on that morning show? Okay, we've got
Because
like 85 times the audience we've got. Who cares,
that's
okay?
their thing.
So let them come in and share, for crying out loud. They ought to be honored to be on before us. Just imagine if we had any number leading in there, we'd probably have a 40 share. Just a joke there, Kenny. Don't get uptight now. But like I said, 1,025 votes on the poll. What sucks the most about AM radio? Too many stupid right-wing talk shows, 233. Amen to that. Too much signal interference from other studios, 178, and too much static, 164, which I think is all basically the same category. It's like that. That's AM radio. Not enough Neil, 135. Wait till I lose all the rest of this weight, man. Then there definitely will not be enough Neil. I'm going to be so slim and svelte, man. I'm going to be irresistible. Anybody buying that? Not even me. Too many Spanish language stations, 132. Too many bad shows, 101. I mean, that's obvious. If there were good shows, people would even listen to the static. Too much sports talk, 33. No good music, 25. I hate this poll, only 14, 1.3%. I think we might set a record on that today. Nice going. Corporate ownership, 6. And too many religious estaciones, solamente 4.
Fakes orgasms, I fake foreplay.
It's a former heavyweight champion, well, Mike Tyson. I got in trouble again.
Tyson got arrested one December night when cops found cocaine under his seat. He didn't try to fight him or put up a fight. He smelled like weed from his head to feet.
Smells good.
Mike Tyson is a man.
That's a fact.
I'm sure you know the rest.
That's a fact.
Volatile and depressed, and he flunked his sobriety test.
But I'm not good at tests. I flunk all the tests I take.
Out in Arizona driving recklessly, he almost sideswiped a police car.
Hey!
Had a bag of powder balanced on his knee, caught with his hand in the cocaine jar.
That's funny.
Mike Tyson is arrested.
That's a fact.
Needs a mental health check.
That's a fact.
47-inch neck. If he weren't green, he'd look just like Shrek.
What would you say? I would look just like Shrek? Because as I remember before heavyweight champion, well, Mike Tyson, and I was a boxer, I'm a lover, and the fighters, and the Shrek. That's a green monster person.
Slurring all his words, not making any sense. The former champ keeps committing sins.
What's up?
When he smiles, he looks like a picket fence. He told cops to call Robin Givens.
I love Robin.
Mike Tyson is a man.
That's a fact.
I'm sure you know the rest.
That's a fact.
Volatile and depressed, and he flunked his sobriety test.
I think I told you before I don't do good at tests.
Mike says he uses whenever he can score, but that's not often, cause he is broke.
That's a fact.
Where he's going, he won't need it anymore, because cops caught Mike Tyson with coke.
It was in Travis
27 till noon at 5:60. Here's a fax from Paul in the Gables who says, limoncello is a recent less than 21 years. First of all, that's not the way you would say it anyway. How would they say it? Limoncello?
Limoncellos.
Oh, limoncello. Limoncello is a recent less than 20-year introduction to the Italian liquor scene. It originates from the Sorrento area, as that is a primary source of lemons and oranges. It's easy to make. I hear there's a lot of fruit in Sorrento, is what I've been told. It's easy to make yourself, however, so it's not necessary to buy it. It's very, very sweet. It's sweet. Served chilled. I keep it in the freezer, says Paul. And it's basically lemon essence, 80 proof alcohol, and sugar. Azúcar, as Celia Cruz would say, if she still could. Our good friend Celia Cruz.
I am Celia Cruz and I am dead now.
Yeah, we know. Let's keep it that way. It says, it is excellent, in my opinion, as an after-dinner drink or to cleanse the palate between courses. Makes a fantastic sorbet. Cleanse the palate, right. It goes down easy. Oh, I know a lot of people like that. And it's easy to get hammered on the stuff because people don't realize it's 60 to 80 proof. It is very, very lemony. So, like, after you, drink it, you're all puckered up, like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you eat, I happen to be one of those people, I don't know why I do it. It's a bad habit. It's bad for your teeth and probably your gums, too, but I like to chew ice, like when they bring me all those Diet Cokes at Woodbine.
Whatever. I like to do that, too.
I like chewing on the ice, man.
Sure.
It's probably really bad for your teeth. But I don't really care. Ask me if I care.
No,
I don't. I enjoy it. It's one of those things. I'm old and cranky and whatever, and I'll do whatever the hell I want. And maybe I'll go to Sorrento, get some more travel tips. Let's see how we're doing here. 1,040 votes on the poll. I'm not going to keep reading. It's it's not a very exciting poll, but we still got over 1,000 votes. It's not really like sexy or like erotic or exciting or what do you think about it? It's what it is. How many years ago did I say AM radio was dead anyway?
About 30, man.
It's dead for a long time. That's another reason it's a miracle that we're still pumping out the hits, baby, on this show. We're still cranking it out. AM radio is deader than a doornail. And all these stations, all these make-believe stations, and one day they're religious, and the next day they're playing top 40 from 80 years ago, and the next day they're playing Caribbean melodies, whatever the hell they're doing.
I wonder what this station's going to be in the future.
Sold. Well, you asked me a question, and I gave you an honest opinion. I mean, I'm not saying like this year that somebody's going to come in there and buy it and write me a check and pay me off my contract so I can travel the world. Sounds like a wonderful fantasy to me. Let's see. For your info, Fat and Ugly Jim DeFetus has a morning show on 940. Oh, yeah, that's a real... Oh, will you stop, you people, you idiots out there? That's a show? Fat Jim DeFetus, who's got a face for another planet and
He's
a body
on the news,
for man? What's that?
They show him on the news. I forget what channel it is. He does special reports, not unlike Al Sunshine and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I think they have
not unlike Al Sunshine in more ways than one. Just bigger ham hocks and more
oh, yeah.
Fat. God, Jim DeFetus. Yeah, he's got I'm talking about a regular... You know what I'm talking about. Don't give me this crap. For my info, it's probably from him. As Tiny would have said, Echmer, a talk show host, Jim DeFetus. Who the hell are you kidding? And by the way, don't blow your brains out there. Oh, sorry, too late. State of the Union, not so healthy, writes Weldon Berger. And the smirking chimp. He says, this year's State of the Union speech promised little and delivered less. Bush has no domestic policy clout with which to press the few WAN policies he mentioned. WAN. And no more intention of pushing for energy independence now than the previous 5 times he's mentioned it, and his credibility in the areas where he continues to enjoy considerable power, foreign and military policy continues to fade. The most recent polls show even his most dependent supporters are beginning to peel off. They're peeling it. And the banana, too. That makes him more dangerous rather than less, but it moves his comments on the subjects from the category of rhetorically crippled into white noise. Healthcare reform was supposed to be a significant part of the speech. It wasn't. The reason is that the administration's proposal is sketchy, weak, and curiously vindictive. According to the White House, the tax cut for individuals and families with health insurance will bring fewer than 10% of uninsured Americans into the fold. They acknowledge that rising costs will eat up the entire break within a decade or less, and that the likely immediate result, the intended immediate result, is that Americans who get their health insurance through their jobs will switch to high deductible, less comprehensive insurance, leaving themselves open to the sort of backbreaking medical expenses that insurance is, at least in theory, intended to ward off. What numbers they have in support of the presumed beneficial effects are tentative and unsubstantiated, so it's no wonder that the initiative got a scant 350 words in the 5,500-word speech. The best indication that health care was meant to take a higher profile in the State of the Union speech is that it received top billing in Bush's Saturday radio address and a lengthy Monday background briefing for reporters. None of the other elements of the speech were done those honors. The briefing did not go well in any respect. Briefers and reporters alike were confused, and as is customary, reporters seemed not ready to recognize and respond to official contradictions and absurdities. Absurdities, I love it. But the question raised by even that lackluster journalistic performance may have been enough to scare the administration off devoting more time to the proposal. A good half the responses were some variation of, "We'll have to get back to you on that." In his radio address, the president said that Americans are fortunate to have the best health care system in the world. During the Monday briefing, Catherine Baker of the President's Council of Economic Advisors said that nobody in the country can afford to keep spending more and more and more money on a health care system that's broken. You'd think that the contrast between best and broken would arouse some curiosity among the crack Washington press corps. Not so. Possibly this is because no one listens to or reads the Saturday missives. Possibly it's because reporters were distracted by the question of why they were summoned on short notice to attend a briefing on a proposal that seemed almost as mysterious to the administration officials selling it, Baker and Bush economic advisor Julie Goon, as it did to the reporters. What a goon. Neither did any of the reporters react when in response to a question about why the proposal would bring health insurance to perhaps 3 million of the 47 million Americans who were at present uninsured. Baker said that because it's a very heterogeneous group of people who are uninsured, it's hard to find one magic bullet. A reasonable reporter might have noticed that most of the developed world resolved the thorny question of how to provide health care coverage to everyone by providing health care coverage to everyone. Again, no. If the press were forced to hunt down and kill the obvious and live off its flesh, many of them would starve. If the president doesn't go violently nuts between now and next year, the 2008 speech is likely to be even worse. But help could be at hand. It says, here's an idea. Maybe next year we can surround Laura Bush with performers from Cirque du Soleil. Maybe they can build some sort of human pyramid over her. Sounds like a wiener to me. Just pathetic. Well, you didn't watch any of it either, right?
No, I did not.
And neither did this trial. Trust me when I tell you.
I knew it would be a pack of lies.
A pack of garbage. 1053. I think I'm going to sit back and sip on some limoncellos right now.
You do not belong in here, you damn crackhead. Go smoke your crack, please.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Friday night he's in the White House doing all his presidential biz. He's there in the Oval Office, though he's not sure what an oval is. He's practicing his speech that he's been working on for weeks, should be a breeze. But it's not for a man who thinks that if you're from Iran, you're Iranese. Saturday, he's still no smarter, thinks what's in the center's centrical. You could say his brain is useless, kind of like the Cheney's clogged up ventricles. Now he goes to give the speech with words his vocab cannot reach. He looks afraid, but he won't tell you how he feels. Instead, he'll talk about some bad mistakes he'll make. He can't spell, he can't act, crying out loud. He can't speak, so what he says is always in doubt. Don't have a clue, no brain in his head, so he just babbles on.
Gee, I missed it. Must have been something really exciting last night, okay, and you missed it. Did Chris, I bet you Chris watched it.
Babbles on.
Watch it?
Not really, no.
What do you mean, not really? Come on, either yes or
different
no.
channels, I would kind of watch the reactions of the people in the audience, the other senators, and then go to another thing.
I knew it. You sneaked a peek.
That was kind of funny watching Nancy sit there and just kind of like, be mad while everyone else is like cheering.
Was she wearing her babushka or whatever the hell it is?
I wouldn't know.
A burqa.
Oh, man, I just got a message that just made me want to go to the patio and just do cartwheels right on the very edge of the railing out there. Oh, brother. Woo! I think the day is going to come when telephones are just going to disappear, you know?
Well, they're already being integrated. You can't...
Instant messaging and text messaging and... That's the best offer I've had in a long time right there. That was beautiful. I can't read it on the air. That would be really... How about I just say, yeah. Okay, offer accepted. How's that? 13 till noon at QAM. Off the rails, big oil, big brother went big in the State of the Union by our buddy Greg Palace. What's happened to him? I thought maybe they put him in a hoosegow or something.
Glad to see they didn't.
He's kind of like right there with Doug Thompson almost, but not quite. Doug Thompson didn't have anything new today. I bet he has got one tomorrow, though. You know, see, let me just say this to you. Right this moment, right at this point of my life, on this show and in my life and all the way around, I am as content as a fat old cow. And I look like one, too, as a matter of fact.
Happy as a pig in slop?
Happy as a pig in slop, that's right, with 2 shakes of your tail. I mean, the phone, I got the mounted around there. I see there are a couple lines ringing. There's no chance I'm going to waste my time with it. In fact, there you go. We got that carded up. Where's that sound? WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. There you go. Greg Palas says, so who the hell needs that? I don't need that. We're rolling along singing the song. We don't need no super expert in there giving us a song to dance about. Oh, gee, it's so much better hearing the reaction of Neil with the callers. I don't know anybody in my personal life who says, oh, the show is so much better when you have those callers on there. There are no callers. Don't you understand, Smokey Joe? There are no callers. If you took those 3 or 4 people, those chronics out of there, and had them executed, hanged like Sodom, which most of them aren't hung to begin with, which would be a wonderful thing, by the way. It wouldn't change anything. Nobody's got anything to say in South Florida. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Wait a minute, I got one for you. Let's put that over this. Here, let it go. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. One more. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Okay, I think that's enough for right now. I think we made the point.
That's great.
It is great. I think we ought to make a bit out of that. And also loop it and make it go on for about 45 minutes. We can play that 4 times a day and just sit and, potchkey around. Greg Palas says, there was that tongue again. When the president lies, he's got this weird nervous tick. He sticks the tip of his tongue out between his lips, like a little boy who knows he's fibbing, like a snake licking a rat. Like that. Can you hear that? I'm licking it.
I heard it.
I don't want to lick the microphone, though. Although I will say this, since I'm the only one that sits in here, I don't have to worry about it. I once worked in a place, I'm trying to think what station it was, where they used to spray them. There was some jerk that I worked with who used to spray the microphone with Listerine from a can.
Oh, yeah.
Was that an IOD?
There must have been, because I've encountered that.
Jesus. I mean, what a shot that is. The person who's following you comes in with a can of Listerine like, you're unclean.
I can understand
something from me,
that guy had a cold or something, But yeah,
of course, if he knew all of those things that my tongue has been. But that's, I'm sure a lot of guys could say that. Lots of guys could say that, including some, by the way, who've, been in areas where they better keep, at any rate. In the State of the Union...
Well, Sports Studio usually has a can of Lysol sitting in there for anyone to use whenever they want.
They really do? That's what I was talking about. They have a can of Lysol?
Yep, the disinfectant spray.
It says, in the State of the Union last night, the president did his tongue thing 124 times. My kids kept count, Greg says, but it wasn't all rat-licking lies. Most pundits concentrated on Iraq and wacky health insurance stuff, but that's just bubbles and blather. The real agenda is in the small stuff. Oh, yeah, I can relate to that. The little razors in the policy apple, the nasty little pieces of policy shrapnel that whiz by between the appearances of the presidential tongue. I still can't get over the fact that there are people who eat tongue. Oh, first there was the announcement the regime will give employers the tools to verify the legal status of their workers. In case you missed that one, the president's talking about creating a federal citizen profile database. There's a problem with that idea. It's against the law. The law in question is the U.S. Constitution. The Founding Fathers thought the government had no right to keep track on a citizen unless there's evidence they've committed or plan to commit a crime. But the Founding Fathers didn't imagine there were millions and billions of dollars to be made by private contractors ready to perform this KGB operation for the Department of Homeland Security, tracking each and every one of us to keep tabs on our status. These work databases will tie into our voter verification databases required by the Help America Vote Act, and these will tie to the databases on citizenship and so on. Will Big Brother abuse the Snoop list? The biggest purveyor of such hit list is Choice Point Inc. Those characters who before the 2000 election helped Jeb Bush purge innocent voters as felons from Florida voter rolls. Will they abuse the new super list? Does Dick Cheney shoot in the woods? There were several other little IEDs, improvised execrable policy devices, planted in the State of the Union. Did you catch the one about doubling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? If you're unfamiliar with the SPR, it's supposed to be a stash of oil we keep in case the price of crude gets too high. Well, the price of oil has been horribly high, but Dick Cheney, the official who sits on the reserve's spigots, has refused to release the oil into the market. Instead of unleashing the reserve and busting Big Oil's price gouging, Bush will double the reserve, which will require buying 750 million barrels of oil. This is a nice $40 billion payout to Big Oil from the U.S. Treasury. Compare this to the President's health insurance plan, and it should be revenue neutral, that is, have a net investment of zero. But the $40 billion in loot the oilmen will get from us taxpayers for doubling the reserve is nothing compared to the boost in the worldwide price of crude caused by this massive, insane purchase. While the congressional audience didn't even bother polite applause for the reserve purchase plan, there is no doubt they were whooping it up in Saudi Arabia. Clearly, the state of the Saudi-Bush union is still pretty good. But why end on a cynical note? I must admit I was moved by the President's praise of Wesley Autry, a New Yorker who last month threw himself on top of a man who'd fallen on subway tracks and held him between the track rails as the train passed over them. While the President properly acknowledged Autry's courage in saving the man who fell on the subway tracks, Mr. Bush still did not explain why Dick Cheney pushed the man in the first place. Cute. That is cute. Good old Greg Palast. They haven't taken his ass away yet, but they sure would like to, man. They would like to in the fascist USA. Let's take a look at how that poll is coming. 1,083 votes on it. What sucks most about AM radio? I could say working on it, but that would be bad because I'm doing just fine, okay? I'm not missing any meals. Too many stupid right-wing talk shows, 239. And again, we apologize for the repetition. They're stupid and right-wing, redundant. Too much signal interference from other stations, 191, and too much static, 174. AM, especially if you drive like by 441. That always impresses me when I'm in town on those few days a year. Too much static. Not enough Neil 146. I think that could be a new format. Let's try to sell to all the other stations. They can all carry the show, and they each pay me like an extra $1 million a year, and then, I'll give you like $20, and Chris $5. All right. Too many Spanish. By the way, did you get that thing yet or not?
No.
Well, it's on the way.
All right.
Just hang on tight.
Too
many Spanish language stations, 138. Too many bad shows, 104. Too much bad radio, baby. It's bad. 104. Too much sports talk, 34. No good music, 25. I hate this poll, only 15, 1.3%. That could be a record, as they say here, a record. They still do have a little bit of that British thing here, but they are very progressive and wonderful people, and I loves it here. Corporate ownership, 10, and too many religious stations, 7. Pray to Jesus, baby. I want everybody in this audience to get on your knees right now and pray to Jesus. Neil finds a good machine at Woodbine this afternoon. You think it'll help? Can't hurt.
No, can't hurt.
Cannot hurt. Everybody pray to Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
When he gives that handle a big yank. You know that when I was a kid, when I was in high school, not a kid. Well, I guess I was a kid.
Sure.
And I worked in my father's sporting goods store. He used to sell, it was like a clothing and sporting goods store.
All right.
And he used to sell work pants, and they were called, the brand was Big Yank work pants.
Okay.
That was the name of the brand. Now, this is many, many years ago. Can you imagine now trying to sell something called Big Yank work pants? Anything having to do with pantaloonies, huh?
They'd go over big. Yank. I'd buy some.
They'd yank him right off the market.
I'd wear pants that said Big Yank on them.
Yeah, so would I. In fact, I'm thinking about that episode at Woodbine just the other day.
The biggest names
I was thinking
of
Big
best
Yank, but
talent.
that's because
This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Mark Morgan, it's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
Looking for love in a deceptive way, with somebody's picture stolen from my space, blowing words out of my ass on a fake profile, trolling online. Trolling online. I could be good looking or a fat hairy A, bi or gay or maybe just straight. Look at all my gullible friends that I've got so far. Trolling online. Trolling online. All the time, everybody lies online. You're gonna find the zany guys who have no lives. Trolling online. I'm giving hope to the desperate and lonely, even though I may be incredibly homely. You'll never know it's my real Fooling online. Fooling online. I don't mind to steal your phone with both fake lies. The internet's a waste of time for what you expect to find. Fooling online. Fooling online. La 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 la.
Take a look at that. Take a puke at it, baby. 1,101 votes on the poll, man. I am really impressed. 12:02 at 560 WQM on a great Wednesday, man. There's a little bit of sunshine out there. You can smell the lilacs coming across the lake from Rochester. Do you think there's lilacs in January?
No.
Just because of global warming. In fact, it seems to me, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty damn sure I remember it. A couple of weeks ago, they were showing the trees were beginning to bloom. I think it was in Washington, D.C. They were showing that some of the trees were blooming idiots.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, they were starting to bloom because it was like in the 50s and whatever, and it's, which is lovely, which means it'll be nice and warm all the time. It'll be just like being in hell. It'll be good practice for a lot of us perverts. Flight attendants often deal with obnoxious passengers who won't listen to instructions by kicking them off the plane, but a Massachusetts couple think AirTran Airways went overboard by treating their crying 3-year-old daughter in much the same way. A lot of airplane bizarre stories last couple of days. You notice that?
Yes.
Wow. Julie and Jerry Kuleza and daughter Ellie were removed from the flight when the girl refused to take her seat before takeoff. Why do they always say that? Take your seat. How about sit down? Sit your ass down. Take your seat. Where are you gonna run with it? Take your seat. Kevin Crew, take your seats. I love flying on KLM, man. I just love it. Kevin Crew, take your seats. I just love that. Love the sound of that. I think they only have one pilot, which is amazing how he flies all those other planes at the same time. An amazing guy. Kevin Crew. Anyway, Julie and Jerry and the daughter were moved from the flight when the girl refused to take her seat before takeoff. Airline officials said yesterday, but her parents said they just need a little more time to calm her ass down. That's all. Calm the bitch down. I mean, the little girl down. How old is she? Oh, she's 3 years old, for crying out loud. What do you want? See, I think people that take little kids on planes, those people ought to be shot. And little kids ought to be put in cargo. And especially like in business class or first class, executive class, whatever, big shots like me fly. I don't want those people sitting there with me for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever.
Some people go to great lengths to make sure that their children don't bother other people, and then there's
Remember
the
I told you
rest
about
of them.
that first time I went to Europe, 1987, 20 years ago. First time I went to Europe. And I'm flying in schlepper class, an idiot like me. Of course, back in the day, I wasn't making the kind of money I am now. So I figured, why am I going to spend an arm and a leg for business class? So I'm flying in a coach, and sitting next to me is a Middle Eastern woman with her little kid in her arms. In other words, she's paid for just one seat, and because the kid was under whatever age, she didn't have to pay for his ticket. So she has to hold him in her arms the whole flight. The whole 9.5-hour flight. This is on the return from Amsterdam, from Schiphol to Miami. Yeah, I know you're eating something, okay? What is
There's a little trail mix out of the machine there. Miguel and Steph, the engineer, got char-hut today.
You know something? The next time Duff comes in there and asks me to do any favor for him, like live for him on the air, which I did that for quite a while there, the answer will be no. You're not taking care of my people, Duff. Hey, Duff.
You failed. He gave us his own chicken fingers, though, to share.
He gave you his fingers? Oh, God. Yeah. God only knows where they have been.
Me and Chris got to share them.
You got to share Duff's fingers? Oh, brother. You better go out and gargle with Rinso. Wow, with Clorox. You better bleach it. So anyway, I'm sitting on a plane. This little kid is like fidgeting and kicking, and the two of them smell like rotten potato chips. And the kid, I think, was eating potato chips, but it didn't, rancid, stuff that's been sitting around for years. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my watch and I'm thinking, 9.5 hours of this, I'm never going to make it.
Right.
Have you ever had that feeling? Well, of course, you have that feeling
I've had that
day.
experience. I was on a flight once, and it was like a 747. Remember those? And I was stuck with a fat guy on one side.
What do you remember those? I fly in those all the time.
All right, well then. There was a fat guy, and was in the center seat of the center aisle, and there was a fat guy on one side with his whole arm on my lap, and on the other side was a woman with a baby refusing to change the crappy diaper on a flight to L.A. from here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
the
a
crappy
nightmare.
diaper. That isn't a play on words, is it?
No.
But anyway, to make a long story short, I made it. And I kept thinking to myself, as good of a time as I had, I think that first time I went to Amsterdam, Rome, and Copenhagen, all in about 10 days. Too much. Although that was 20 years ago. I was like a young stud, 44, young fat slob. I could handle all that travel. But I did make it. But I'm thinking to myself, that's the last time I'm ever going to make this trip again. And, of course, here we are 20 years later and 80,000 trips later, too. Let me give you a little advice, all you people out there that want to waste your travel money on cruises, on trips to Latin America. Get on a plane and go to Europe, okay? I'm telling you. Just pick your spot. Pick your seat. I don't think there are too many places where you can go wrong, except maybe Paris with those damn frogs. Too many Frenchmen in Paris. That's the problem. Too many frogs. So anyway, getting back to this family, the Coleses plan to fly home to Boston January 14 from Fort Myers after a 4-day visit with the girl's paternal grandparents. She was removed because she was climbing under the seat and hitting the parents and wouldn't get in their seat during the boarding, Air Trans spokeswoman Judy Graham Weaver said. It's like when you're sitting in the airport and you watch what these people are doing with their kids and they're paying no attention and the kids are running around and they're opening up doors that aren't supposed to be open and alarms are going off and all kinds of crap going. I can't like in the store when you're shopping, you see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot deal with parents who let their little kids run around and just raise hell with everything around them. And they're like oblivious.
They are, and they make life miserable for the rest of us because then your kid sees it and they wonder, how come you can't
how come I get disciplined and
so
Daddy smacks the crap out of me and I act like some kind of an animal, man.
That's why.
Now, you don't hit your kids, do you?
No, not hard.
Just when it's necessary. Awesome. Right. AirTran officials say they were following Federal Aviation Administration rules that children aged 2 and above must have their own seat and be wearing a seatbelt upon takeoff. The flight was already delayed 15 minutes, and in fairness to the other 112 passengers on the plane, the crew made an operational decision to remove the family, Graham Weaver said. I'd just like to take the kid if there was like an instant shoot to just jump off the plane.
Sure.
But Julie Coleses said we weren't given an opportunity to hold her, console her, or anything. Ellie was sitting in front of our seat crying, she said in the phone interview. The attendant motioned to a seat and asked if we purchased it for her. They had paid for the seat. Jerry Coleses said another attendant then approached the family and told him, you need to get her in control and in her seat now, gosh dang it. As Buddy Bud Paxson said to me that day, gosh dang it. The couple told the attendants they were trying. Julie Coleses said she asked the attendants if Ellie could sit on her lap, but they said no. The family flew home the next day. The Orlando-based carrier reimbursed the family $595.80. The cost of the 3 tickets offered them 3 round-trip tickets anywhere the airline flies, Graham Weaver said. But that's too little too late for the Coleses. The father said they would never fly AirTran again, and I'm sure the people at the airline are just devastated by that threat. I'm never going to fly your crappy airline again. You people with your little kids, man, that have them like a bunch of... They're like weapons. People who use their kids as weapons.
Right.
Can't stand it.
Hide behind them.
Nauseating.
Yes.
And then these people, well, gee, I lost my child at Walmart. Well, maybe if you kept your eye on her. I've been walking down the street, in various places, wherever. Mm-hmm. And there's like little kids, and you wonder, well, where are the parents?
Right.
Like, I'm talking about little kids, 3, 4 years old, walking in the and you look back, and the parents are paying no attention, like a half a block behind, and the kids are like maybe going to get hit by a car next.
Hey, at least you saw the parents.
All I can think is maybe it's wishful thinking on their part. You know what I'm saying, George?
No. What do you say?
Even George wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't have a problem with my kids.
No, it's the lady who made them. Is that what you're trying to say? Why do we have to really go back there again? It's probably not a healthy thing.
No, whatever.
Now, what were you saying about Miguel before? About he was chastising about something? What was it? Oh, about Charhut.
Oh, he wasn't chastising. He was chowing down on it.
Well, yeah, apparently he's eating Kim Bocamper's hot dog, except he said it a different way.
He's eating... Oh, no.
Yeah, he said it a different way.
That's no hot dog.
That's baloney.
No, that's a promotions director.
Oh, no.
That's baloney.
Wow.
And Steph was
I guess everybody must be praying to Jesus today, it sounds like to me. Oh, no. Woo! He was eating Kimba Bocamper's hot dog, did you say?
Yes. Oh. Well, I can't say the way he said it, but yes.
Oh. What a weenie. I always said Miguel was a real weenie. Anyway, what sucks most about AM radio? 1,119 votes. I don't feel like reading the results because it's a very boring poll. Wouldn't you agree?
What, this one?
Yeah. You think it's a good poll?
Whatever.
I mean, not that I don't appreciate it. And these people lately who've been sending all these polls, they've been doing a fabulous job for me because the toughest job about this poll, the toughest thing about doing it has got nothing to do with it is the poll. I mean, I can sit down here and do a show blindfolded, man, with my hands tied behind my back, which is what I've been doing for 9 years on the station, 9 years plus. So you're getting ready for that big March 1st celebration for me for my 31st anniversary on the air in Miami?
I will drink.
No,
I'm going to buy a bottle of
I really
booze.
believe this. I think You know, I'm old. The days in number are a lot less ahead of me than behind me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for sympathy. But I just think because there are so many special friends out there who care so much about me, they really ought to start thinking right now, 24th of January, what they're going to do for me for my 31st anniversary on the 1st of March. Don't you think that's something you ought to be thinking about?
Okay, I'll start thinking about it.
If I was them, I'd think about it long and hard, believe me. 1,123 votes on the poll. Too many religious stations, solamente otto. Soltanto otto. I do love the sound of Italian. I love the sound of Spanish, too, when it's spoken by people who know how to really speak it. And you know what I'm talking about. We've discussed this before. There are so many different dialects of Spanish. And then there are people, you've heard of Pig Latin. There are people who speak like Pig Spanish. Very badly, you know. You know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
You know exactly. We've discussed this before. I mean, the Spanish language can be a beautiful language if spoken properly. But then there are some people who speak it like a very... it's like Italian, the same thing. You got people who really speak fluent Italian and speak it, it flows, bada bing, bada boom, like that.
There are people that slur, and then there are the Spaniards, and everything is the...
Well, that's the Castilian. Castilian. They got a little...
I can't understand a word
What are you going to do? Nice college boy, eh?
Bada bing.
They want to get mixed up in the family business?
Bada bing.
Now you want to gun down a police captain, why? Because he slapped you in the face a little bit? Huh? What do you think, this is the army where you shoot him a mile away? You got to get him close like this. Bada bing! You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. Come here. Mwah! You're taking this very personal.
And now it's time for our long-distance dedication. It's from Hank Goldberg, and he writes, "Please play The Air That I Breathe, and dedicate it to my Kim Basinger blow-up doll."
Turnabout. That house doubt. Listen. Chances are. Hi. Hello. Water's warm, huh? I'll say. You come here often? Pardon me? Have you been here before? No, first time. Oh. What's your name? Freeway. Freeway, that's nice. I'm Spigot. Pleased to meet you, Spigot. Same here. You here to get clean or what? Oh, I don't know. You work around here? I'm a waiter, but actually I'm an actor, you know. Oh, yeah, I know. It's tough, isn't it? You probably need to relax. Oh, I'll say, but, you know, with everything that's in the news and all, it's just... Hey, you can start relaxing right now, Freeway. I brought something. Ooh, sheath. And Freeway, not just any sheath either. Look. Wow, gold lame. Pretty kicky condom, huh? But here's the most important part, Freeway. The Protect label. Protect, huh? Aren't those endorsed by the City Council of San Francisco? Absolutely. You know the Protect slogan, don't you? I sure do. Certified safe by the city by the bay. Well, what do you say? Darn, look at that. I dropped the soap again. Oh. I'll get it. You bet your life he will. And with confidence, because Freeway and Spigot have condom sense. Don't let worry spoil those chance meetings and public showers. Always carry Protect. Protect. Keep my mind free as can be. Protect. Been down with no apology. Don't doubt. Know what it's all about. The Protect sheath, so they won't send you a wreath. Protect Condoms, a division of Black Flag House and Garden Pest Control Division, keeping situations safe since 1887.
1,128 votes on the poll, not too shabby. I think we got a shot at 13 today. Won't that be a lucky omen for my trip to Woodbine? How to find a good machine rhymes with 13. I really do think I ought to play the... although I probably would have a heart attack. I mean, if I won the lotto... See, lotto is a different thing. You got your tickets, and you look online, you see the winning numbers, and you go through the ponderous process of checking the numbers, you know. I mean, that would be great. But that one time I missed the 15 million by one digit. I didn't... Yeah. Well, see, the good thing is the second digit was the one that was off by... The second number was the one off by one digit. It was supposed to be 13, and it was 14 I had.
I've missed by one digit before.
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing.
The whole thing. How are you spelling that? So I missed 15 million by one digit, and I only got a lousy $1,600 for it. But I didn't have, like, no fart attack or nothing like that. But if you're sitting at a machine, man, and of course then all of a sudden the bell goes off and everybody comes up, they're all running around. Right, and you won 4.4. Oh, I would do that. I guarantee you that. Oh, I'd be farting up a storm. That would get those pain-in-the-ass bystanders away real fast, okay?
Rectum.
Yeah. 4.4 million. Wouldn't you like him? Back in the day when I first started going out to Woodbine, I used to see them. I think they all must have died. But all these old, I mean really old, people old enough to be my great-grandpa and grandma, they used to schlep them out of there on stretchers, you know? And there's some of these people come in, you've probably seen them, and they're either in a wheelchair or the walker, and they've got the oxygen tank attached to the chair. And they've got the oxygen mask on. They're like that. Well, listen, you know, they're having a good time. That's what I'd like to know when I get really old and who's going to be the one to push me around in my push cart, you know? Who's going to be that one? That's what I'd like to find out. Who's going to be my good, loyal, close personal friend who's going to be taking care of the old man in my day? When I'm not as virile and ambulatory as I am now. Sam says, well, look at this. He says the slot machines at Mardi Gras are all right.
All right.
Good. Played the Wheel of Torture, won a quick 100, then hit the poker tables for a little more. Looking forward to Pompano opening with their new building. It's going to be very nice, is what he says. I think what he's really, really trying to say is...
very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Have you been on the website to look at the picture's new design? No, I have not. Also, they have a new slot machine called the Kneel of Torture. Oh, yeah, that's where you kneel and pray at that one. The Kneel of Torture. Says, can't wait to check out that machine. Have a big day today at Woodbine. I'm praying for you, says Sam. P.S. Love that bit trolling online. Another man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, listen, he's not the only one.
4 stars.
He also wrote at Woodbine. It's with a B, not with a V. Woodbine. Woodbine. Racetrack. Okay, Woodbine. Oh, maybe he's being clever. I don't know. He says he's praying for me, and he's not the only one on his knees for me today.
Hello.
Well, that's that message I got before. It was most amusing. At any rate, 1,136 votes on the poll. Not too bad. Let me tell you, we got to get to 13, and then Neil will win $1 zillion today, and won't be back tomorrow. Seriously, listen to me. Based on a few bucks I've got stashed away now, which you got a fair idea, and if I would win $4.5 million, do you think I would come back tomorrow?
No.
Would you do it if you were me?
Well, and you've said it before. One last show.
Listen, what is there that I would say on one last show that I haven't said already? Because as you know, I hold nothing back.
You could, I don't know, have fun doing it.
I would?
Just the goodbye show.
Oh, in fact,
kiss a lot of people goodbye.
9 years plus on this station, there have been a lot of shows I felt like it was going to be the goodbye show. Believe you me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Joe? Old Smoky Joe? Yeah, look at that. Lines are ringing on the phone, and they think I'm actually going to pick them up. I don't think so. Not this hour. Maybe next hour, but I wouldn't. I don't know. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Okay, now let me just say this. Here's what I'm thinking. We could take that and put it together and make a loop out of it and play the whole thing, all of that, just that, and then do the spots, just get the commercials in. And I still think we'd outrate any other show on this station. Now, do you have any doubts about that?
None.
Well, when the hell does that start? Sounds like a real wiener to me. Anyway, let's get back to the stuff here, okay? Getting way off course and talking about gambling, which is disgusting and perverted and stuff like that. And all these people on their knees praying for the old man to hit the jackpot today, the crackpot with the jackpot. New passport rules cause little turbulence at Florida airports. That's my biggest suggestion to all you people out there who are desperately looking for life.
I have no life.
Please, do yourselves a favor. If you got even just a couple of bucks. Number one, get a passport, and then number two, go someplace. See the world before you croak. That is the one thing I've done, and I have, everybody has regrets in life, but that's the one thing I've done that I have no regrets about. And I guess the only regret is I didn't start sooner. Although I've been to Hawaii 6 times. You ever been to Hawaii?
I have not. Costs money to go there.
No, sir.
The only negative about Hawaii is unless you live on the West Coast, is it far? It's 11 hours flying time plus the layoff. You have to fly to L.A. or Frisco, and then you got to fly out. It's almost as far. I think it's another 5 hours. It's even farther, maybe, in the middle of the Pacific to get to Honolulu as it is to get from here to L.A., from South Florida. And it was beautiful, but very congested. I liked Hawaii a lot. And then finally I decided, well, why the hell not take that trip across the pond? And after that first bad experience with the lady with that little kid in her lap that stunk like nasty, rancid taters, it's been great. And look at all the neat places I've been. Roma 80 million times. Look at all the places I've been, George, where you, a schlepper like you, hasn't been and never will be. That's sad.
Never will be.
How do you know that? Maybe when I croak, maybe I'll leave you a bunch of money.
Well, that's the only way.
Rome and Bologna and Milano and Firenze.
It sounds like Bologna to me.
Let me tell you right now.
That's baloney.
Milano, if you're going to go to Italy, do not go to Milan unless you have a lot of time and a lot of money.
I already wrote that down. Now, I'll spend a lot of time in Rome, looking at them old buildings and whatnot.
To me, the most amazing thing, the first time I went to Rome, the most spectacular thing, was I'm in the cab, and we're passing the Colosseum, Il Colosseo. And, of course, when you see the Colosseum, I mean, in person, it just, even though it's all run down and falling apart, but it's just breathtaking. It just takes your breath away, And you notice the locals, the people who live there, they don't pay any attention to it.
Right.
It's like the people who live in New York when they walk by the Empire State Building. They're not paying any attention to it. It's there every day. They don't, like here. When my cabbie takes me to Woodbine and we get on the expressway, on the Gardner Expressway, and we pass the what used to be the Sky Dome, the Rogers Center, and the CN Tower. There's no big deal. I don't even look at it. What's to look at? Once you've seen it, you're there every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching all these people walking past Il Colosseo, and I'm thinking, they're not even looking at it, And I just couldn't believe it. But anyway, that's the one place. Go to Roma.
I want to.
And I'll tell you, the best trattoria and the best pizza joint. I'm telling you right now.
All right,
you won't believe it. That's correct. 27 past noon. I'm getting nostalgic, and don't get me get started with the food again because I've been doing extremely well. I'm still holding my own there at 185, but I'm not gaining any back, and I'm not getting no ice cream, no crazy crap. You watch. When I come down there next time, I'm going to look just like Brad Pitt. I'm going to look just like John Stockwell in Christine.
You're going to be pristine?
I'm going to be pristine, and he's going to be Christine. Oh, look at this. Here's an ad on my fax machine. I hate that like poison.
Ooh, a presidential run. It might be fun. Are you going to give it a try, Obama? Ooh, you make the voters run. Are you the one? Will we vote for the black guy, Obama? Never stop a rock. He's on top. It may be his time, but his name sounds like he's an Arab guy. My. Woo! Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Barack Obama. Ooh, a presidential run. It might be fun.
Yeah, I thought so, just to repeat. I was just checking it out. They do a lot of those. Well, that's the way it is. Let's play some tapes. Let's play some repeats. What do you say, audience? Huh?
No.
Audience wants those tapes that Smokey Joe loves. Seriously, this man has got to be, infuriating. Not a bad guy. He's jolly, and he's chubby, and he's Santa Claus and all the other. But just like Santa, he promises you a lot and then doesn't deliver. That was a good line. I think you came up with it, which is pretty amazing.
I think it was good.
Well, there's that Israeli president who was giving a song and a dance because they said he raped it into somebody, he did this, he did... He's a real pre-raper. He's a Getchke. 1,147 votes on the poll. Now, let's see. If we get to... we'll get to over 1,200 by sometime. Well, we'll get whatever we get, We'll take whatever we get. And if we get to 1,300, it'll be a real feather in Chris's cap.
Definitely.
So you weigh 290 pounds on your, 4'11"?
I'm not George, so no.
He's 4'2", and he weighed 290 pounds. You must have looked like Al Goldstein.
I'd almost be the Beast then.
Speaking of Al, where the hell did we find that? What website was that on? Blogo, I forget what it was. But I read his blog, and it was so sad.
That's a gay club, you moron.
And I thought back to my, the day when back in the day, when he was really the man. He was, he was gigantic and fat, and he was way over the top, and he smoked those big stogies, and he had the big finger back there, the ceramic finger in his backyard. I never got to those places in Pompano Beach, to his house. He invited me all the time, but Fat Rich used to go and stand in and eat all the food that he would eat, and plus what I would eat too. Which is why Fat Rich is no longer with us. See, that's another thing about I don't want to get too nostalgic here, but when you get old, you know what happens?
Yeah, your friends and...
your friends are all dead.
Family members and whatnot.
That's correct. People, your dogs, all of this...
All of these things.
Could be worse.
That's why you got to go out there and make new friends. See, some people don't understand that. You go online there and make a couple of great new friends.
And it could be worse. You could be the dead friend that other people have to remember.
That is correct. Wouldn't it be something if they were saying, boy, I sure missed that old Neil. He was really a panic, man. He was a lot of fun. I don't want to be the one that's in the ground,
That's right.
I'm just hanging on as long as I can. But, like Fat Rich and Bill Calder. And see, the thing of it is, like with me, when Bill Calder died, I stopped going to thoroughbred racing because it was, when you go to the track, everybody's always got a buddy they go to the track with, Some people are stupid enough they take their wife or their girlfriend, which, what?
No, nothing. I was choking.
You know what I'm saying?
No, what
It's like going to Amsterdam and taking your wife or girlfriend or your family with you like Chris did.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have any choice, though, did you?
Nope.
Now, if you would go back again, if you had, like, if you won a lotto or something and you went back to Amsterdam, you wouldn't take somebody with you, would you?
Nope.
There you go. You'd be there by yourself, independent, to be able to enjoy all the pursuits and all the excitement and whatever you want to do. And especially the part of Amsterdam, speaking of Al Goldstein, where he used to have the apartment. Use the apartment. I told you about the time I went in his apartment in Amsterdam, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
A couple of times.
Yes, you did.
And you have never seen, it was a small apartment, and all over the floor were like cassette tapes and videotapes and just crap all over the floor, everywhere. Just
right.
like you could barely even walk in there. And the satellite dish he had, just wires all over. I don't want to say that Al was a little on the sloppy side, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, his apartment in New York that we borrowed, it was nothing but bongs and dildos.
I'm a fat Jew.
Really? Bongs and dildos.
Yeah.
But see, that's back
Nothing
in the
in
day
any
when
of the
Al
bongs
was like
either.
a big porno hotshot, you know, back in the day when he was actually getting some action. But at any rate, I could tell you where he was getting some action in Amsterdam, but I've already told you that.
I know all about
still
it.
don't believe me. It was just,
I know about it from him.
He told you?
He was always very candid.
Camera. Wonder how Alan Fudd is doing. I bet he's still dead.
He's dead, yeah.
I know that. Anyway, can we get back to Il Passaporta?
Why?
Because it's very important. There's some people out there that might actually be traveling somewhere. This is important crap. A lot of stuff I read on here is just, killing some time. But this is muy importante. Jordan Saunders, 7, achieved a distinctive milestone in his young life yesterday. He was the first U.S. air traveler to arrive at Miami International without a passport on the first day of a new regulation requiring the document for people arriving from abroad, any airport in the U.S., By late yesterday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which operates airport passport control, said at least 6 people, 4 children and 2 adults, had arrived at MIA without passports. No passaporta. All but 1 traveler at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood carried passports by last night, said Zachary Mann, a U.S. Customs and Border Protection spokesman. The passport requirement is part of a growing web of screening procedures being weaved by the Department of Homeland Security to snare terrorists and criminals and preempt the use of forged or unauthorized documents. Right. You should live so long. Toughened travel procedures are the result of the 9/11 attacks. Some of the terrorists carried passports altered to hide travel to Afghanistan, which at the time served as al-Qaeda's base of operations. Next year, passports will be required of travelers arriving at land borders and seaports as well. Currently, travelers from the U.S., Bermuda, and Canada can enter using driver's licenses at those sites. Mexicans with so-called border crossing cards will also need passports at border entry points next year. The Mexicanos.
Yeah.
Isn't it a shame that they have so much corruption there? And isn't it interesting that George Bush was such good friends with his old buddy Vicente Fox once upon a time?
Coincidence?
And his buddy, the Bandar Bush, and all the other Saudi royal family, holding hands. Speaking of that,
gay.
There he is.
Basic issues for heavier use of
There's your
ethanol.
president, okay, coming off Air Force One. It's just amazing to me. You look at it, it's one of those things in life you can't believe. That's the president? This Abu Ghraib Echmir, a president, as they say in Finland? They say a lot of things in Finland. It's a really neat city, Helsinki. You got to go there when you go to Scandinavia.
I'd like to.
We'll take a stop in Copenhagen, then Stockholm, then Helsinki, and then maybe, what's in Norway?
Norwegian.
Oslo. No, I've never been to Oslo. While authorities braced for possible disruptions and delays at airports yesterday, arrivals at MIA and Fort Lauderdale went smoothly, according to Mann. And I'm going to tell you one thing, you people at Fort Lauderdale Airport, that Terminal 4 is terminal. It's too small, baby. It's too small. They got all these international flights going everywhere in the universe, and the damn thing is so tiny, it's embarrassing. Anyway, it says the majority of travelers did carry passports. They got the message. One exception was Jordan, a Miami native, whose family had a medical emergency while in the Caribbean. His mother flew to South Florida Monday night, escorting Jordan's ailing grandpa. Jordan was left behind with relatives in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Turks and Caicos. I've heard that a zillion times. Where the hell is that? I bet it's in the Caribbean.
I'll bet.
His aunt, Denise Brown, brought him to Miami Tuesday to join his mother. His aunt. David Mack, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Passport Control Officer who handled the case, admitted Jordan and Brown after questioning both briefly at his booth. Then he gave Brown a U.S. passport application to fill out for Jordan and 3 separate sheets of paper outlining details of the new passport regulation. Chris Mashton, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Assistant Port Director for Passenger Operations, said passport control officers had instructions to hand out similar papers to any U.S. traveler who showed up without a passport. I'd have just shot him. I mean, if you don't know by now you need una pasaporta, then you got some real problems. Mann said other U.S. travelers who arrived without passports at MIA included a 2-year-old returning with his family from La República Dominicana, 2 more children arriving from Turks and Caicos, and 2 adults coming from the Cayman Islands, which I hear is pretty nifty, is what I was told. The American traveler without a passport at Fort Lauderdale arrived from Cancun, which I hear is not so nifty. Now, that's an interesting coincidence.
Is it?
Well, the Cayman Islands and Cancun, because my close personal friend I was discussing travel with last evening was telling me about how great the Cayman Islands were and really beautiful and neat, and how Cancun was a dump and really sucked and don't ever go there. That's another piece of advice. Don't do the cruise ships and don't go to Mexico and don't go to, what was the other place?
I don't know, anywhere people are trying to get out of?
That's correct. That's a good idea. Anywhere people are just desperate to get out of. 1,154 votes on the poll. I don't think we'll make 1,300. I think we've slowed down to a crawl. And you want to know why? Because I said it was a crappy poll, and it is. It blows. But thank you very much, whoever sent it in. Don't ever think because I say the poll stinks that I don't appreciate it.
Right.
Sometimes there are some things that stink, and you really appreciate it a lot, especially like when you're the only one in the shower, and it's a real steamy, hot shower.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was it? Oh, yeah. God. 1241 at 560 WQM, Mad Dog at 2, the Power Hour with Henry Goldberg and the Mad Dog together at 4, Humper from Gulfstream at 5, and Eddie K 7 to 10 tonight. I'm reading the right day schedule. Did Miguel really come in and said I read the wrong schedule?
Yes.
What a putz. But and by the way, I want you to give him a big kiss since you're one of his people. No, seriously, give him a big kiss right on the lips and thank him for the MySpace. I'm serious.
I'll go kiss Noslin and have her pass it along.
Okay, have her give Miguel whatever she wants to give him, okay? And thank him for his MySpace page.
Know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
I will kill you. All right.
Back in the day when someone done us wrong, we didn't take their crown.
That's baloney.
In Pearl Harbor, when the Japs dropped their bombs, we bombed them back. And now the Saudis, they hit us hard. And on our cards, our little flags wave as that Saudi-loving retard points the bombers the wrong way. And I'm embarrassed to be an American where they follow Bush like sheep. The United States of arrogance, led by Bush and his family, greed they got this country. Ambling towards the darkest days in our history. I don't want to be a Pax American in the USA. What's a few thousand innocent lives? Stop living in the past. If you want that SUV to drive, you're gonna need more gas. It's the greatest country in the world. They train us to believe. And anyone who says that obviously can't afford to leave.
Absolutely.
And I'm embarrassed to be an American where we patriotically wave a flag in one hand with our head in the sand and blindly follow the powers that be. Apathetic. Watching State Run News on a 65-inch screen. Scratch your fart, everything's okay. In the USA.
All right, 1,168 votes. I think we're going to do it. We're going to get to 13. I can smell it. It's either that or that dead animal in the studio there.
There is something.
George keeps telling me every morning that it smells like something died in there.
I think it smells all the time. It's just that you smell it when you first come in and then you get used to it.
It hits you right in the puss.
Right, but people that come in all during the day are like, what the hell smells in here? And I say, it's Chris.
Who died in here, man? Oh, God. I told you that story about the tea room story when I worked at WJNO West Palm Beach. I don't want to go through that again. That was so embarrassing, huh? I mean, it just was one of those things, I'd eaten a whole lot the day before, I guess, and I just, like everything else, it's part of nature. There's nothing all that wonderful about it. Exactly. And man, stunk up the joint in that tea room like you wouldn't believe. Even I was swooning. I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I'm in the hallway, and about 5 minutes later, one of the salespeople comes out of there, and he passed by me. He says, "Boy," he said, "somebody must have died in there." I said, "Yeah, I know. I just, yeah." Somebody must have died in there. Holy cow, rat man! See, that's the proof. That's the proof right there. There's no God. What kind of a God would have? This would be the way that animals would eliminate. I mean, El Stinko, baby. Who the hell wants that?
There's a reason for that.
And what's that? That we're eating the wrong food?
So that you stay away from it afterwards.
Dogs don't do that. Listen, I don't want to. You're getting down the wrong path.
They ought to. They're supposed to.
Well, they ought to. Golden retrievers. Listen, they're taught to retrieve. It's
I know.
And believe me, they retrieve.
What is it with cat poop that they like so much?
Dogs?
Yeah.
I never had a cat, so I really don't know.
Oh.
Well, actually, I did have a cat once upon a time. I got rid of it real quick. I hate cats.
They get into it.
Well, that's another reason to keep your dog away from the cat food is get rid of the cat. Put it in a microwave real quick.
You might call it a litter box, but the dog calls it a lunchbox.
Nuke that cat, baby. Steam it. Fry it. Deep fry it. All you people that love French fries, how about deep frying the cat? 1170, we need 130 votes. Now, let's do the math, okay? I love that. Let's do the math. We got 70 minutes, and we need 130 votes. That's less than 2 a minute. We could do it if you people get on that poll. I'll tell you what the poll is right now. I haven't been pushing it up because it's really weak, and it's embarrassing to me. Because we pride ourselves on our polls on this show. What sucks the most about AM radio? 1170. Now, let's see. What's 1170? 1180 is WHAM in Rochester. 1170 is WWVA in Wheeling, West Virginia. That's a 50,000-watt powerhouse. It used to be on the Pirates Radio Network with Bob Prince and Jim Woods. God, I love Bob Prince. Where's that disc?
Oh, right over there.
No, seriously, which disc was that on? That Chicken X sent me.
That I made for you.
Oh, you made it?
I told you that.
Well, where the hell is it? Oh, no. Don't tell me I don't got it.
Of course you do. You just got it under a pile of
here
crap.
it is. I got it. Just relax, okay? Will you please? Just relax.
That's baloney.
No, not on that one. Well, it's only one clip on there. I mean, it's not like it's a major deal. It's not one of the great Bob Prince calls of all time, but it is Bob Prince, the voice of the Pirates for about 100 years. And then KDK, they fired his ass, and there was like big protest in the city, and they were marching and screaming and puking, and then he died. He died.
Score tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 17th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Coombs into the windup in the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, driven deep to right field. You can kiss it goodbye. Oh, baby, did he hit that baby out of sight. He cremated it.
He cremated it. And the interesting part about that is that I think it was Richie Hebner who was at bat, and when he said he cremated it, Richie Hebner was a funeral. He worked in he was a, what do you call a grave digger? I guess a grave digger.
Grave digger, yeah.
Yeah, he did that.
That might be
Richie
a fancy
Hebner.
title, but I don't know what it is.
And then I think he died, too, Richie Hebner. Boy, isn't it sad about all these people, remember, especially when you're an old fart like me, just like I was talking before. Your friends die, and the athletes die. Mickey Mendel died, all these people.
No, when you're a grave digger and you die, you get a discount?
Yeah, you do get a discount. 1176, we need 124 votes in 68 minutes. Should be able to do it, but it's going to be really, really tight. See, I like giving myself a challenge. See, here's a little lesson to all you kids out there. Give yourself a challenge. Set yourself a goal in life. Set yourself a big goal. Like saying, I'm going to go to Woodbine this afternoon and win $166,000. I'm going to hit the progressive jackpot on the Wheel of Fortune machine, man. That's my goal. What's wrong with that? And it's kind of like your old buddy Sam. Remember Sam?
Oh, yeah.
Our goal is $300,000 on your fundraiser. What a wise guy. What a schmuck. And, of course, when you looked at the people that Greg Reed surrounded himself with, that told you a lot about Greg, you know. Show me the people that somebody surrounds himself with, and I'll tell you a lot about that person. Anyway, getting right back to the important stuff. Don't forget your passport. That's my message to you. Do not forget il tuo passaporta. It's official and final. Former Panamanian dictator Manuel Antonio Noriega, held in Dade on charges of drug trafficking and money laundering, is going to be released from prison on September 9th after completing his sentence. Won't that be wonderful? Oh, there's that show again, where they're in the hot tub. Oh, man. Who is he? Wow. And who those two dykes that were doing the kissy-kissy?
Right, well, I'm on TV now.
Oh, it's on tonight at 1 and when?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to PVR it. Going to have to record that. It's an ABC show. Is that what it is?
No, if it's the Real World, it's an MTV show.
Real World Denver. It's what?
MTV.
Oh.
The channel that you're watching now.
I'm not watching MTV now. I'm watching CNN.
Oh.
I think. Yeah, I'm on CNN. It's one of those promos, cross-dress.
I see.
Anyway, this news about Noriega was revealed through El Nuevo Herald by Noriega's attorney, Frank Rubino. I wonder if he's kin to Bobby Rubino. Now, he died, didn't he, Bobby Rubino? And I think all those joints closed up. Bobby Rubino's?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
I'm sure Bobby Rubino died. I'm pretty sure. And I think there's no more Bobby Rubinos. There still is Tony Romas, though.
I suppose.
In fact, speaking of Berlin, there was a Tony Romas in Berlin, and it was pretty good, too. and it's gone. It didn't last. I think it lasted maybe a year or less, and it's gone. It was a beautiful building, too, an all-glass building, Tony Roma's. And the Germans said, "Fah!" I guess they didn't like it, because it's gone. In fact, when I was there, I looked to one of the Germans and I said,
"Do you like it?"
And he said, "No." And he looked at me and he went,
"Do you like it?"
I said, "Yeah, I like it." And he said, "Chobze and Drerid." There's no turning back. The order about Noriega is obligatory and nobody can stop it, Rubino said. According to Rubino, Noriega, who is in very good health, damn it, will return to Panama as soon as possible. He is 72 years old. He wants to go home. He has no intention of remaining here, Rubino said. The Noriega docket, in fact, when Naslin gives Miguel whatever she's going to give him a big kiss on the lips and tell him that he has added 20 years to my life. And that's the truest GD thing that I can tell you right now. Isn't that sweet?
Well,
I want you to say it. It's adorable, it's supposed to say.
That is adorable.
It is. True.
Makes me want to pinch you on the cheek.
No, thanks. The Noriega docket at the Miami Federal Court contains no motion opposing the release. The prisoner locator on the Bureau's Internet page confirms the release date provided by Rubino, September the 9th. Manuel Noriega will be at a place nearby you. He'll probably be doing limbo rock at Westland in the tea room. Noriega, who ruled Panama from 81 to 89, is held in an apartment-like cell at the Federal Correctional Institute in southwest Dade County. An apartment. Use the apartment, he said. In Panama, Noriega still faces charges in connection with the disappearance, torture, and murder of political leader Hugo Spadafora in 1985 for the death of members of one of the defense forces in 89 after a military uprising and for justified enrichment, in other words, a thief. Rubino said that Noriega is willing to deal with that situation in Panama. The current president of Panama, Martin Torrijos, son of General Omar Torrijos, for whom Noriega professed great loyalty and appreciation. General Torrijos led Panama from 1965 until 81. Regarding Noriega's return to Panama, there is no unanimity, whatever that means. In March 2006, a close friend of Noriega told the Panamanian daily La Prensa that the former ruler will not return to the country. According to Mario Ragnoni, these also, La Prensa sounds Italian to me. Why would that be in Panama? There are Italians in Latin America is loaded with Italians. Did you know that?
Yes, actually.
Like in Rio and Buenos Aires?
Chinese people, even Jews.
Oh, there's a few Jews?
Oh, yeah.
And we got lots of Jews here in Toronto, and we got lots of Chinese, man. We got Chinese up the old
rectum.
But
Jew name it.
And boy, do they like to gamble, the Chinese, man. I don't know what that's all about, but boy, they like to, I beg your pardon,
and smoke.
They smoke those little faggots, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that Michio Kushi, my very first guest on here, no, my second guest, my first guy was Garrett Sloan from the Dade Water and the Sewer Authority. I bet you Sid Levin would fall off the chair if he realized I remember that. What a memory.
What was his name?
Garrett Sloan.
No, the Chinese guy.
Oh, Michio Kushi. Michio Kuchi. And he was into this macrobiotic crap. And, his wife is telling me, he's going to live forever, and he's eating this macrobiotic diet. And he's smoking these little, these nasty smelling little,
Were they really, really tiny?
No, they're like the little cigars. What do you like those miniature ones?
I see.
And he's dead. To make a long story short, all these people that tell you they're going to live forever, they're dead. 12:57 at QM.
The 2 hour.
That's baloney.
1 in 7 Americans suffers from a terrible affliction. And while others find it funny, to those who have it, it's no laughing matter. It's called frequent burping syndrome.
It's terrible. I'll be on a date or a business meeting and excuse me. See what happens?
Frequent burping syndrome. It can ruin your life, but it doesn't have to. Now there's a clinic that can help. Trained specialists, sensitive to the needs of compulsive belchers. A special place known as Burp Enders.
Gosh, Burp Enders saved my life. Joanne and I were in love. I really wanted to ask her to marry me, but I just knew that when the moment of truth came, I'd let out with a big ripper. You know.
Burp Enders. No shame, no guilt. No more tummy-rumbling, smelly belches. No more stopping in mid-sentence to uncork a big, cheesy blaster. Just caring professionals and the help you need. Don't wait. Here's the number to call.
555-2877. That's 555.
Burp Enders. Call today and stop being so gross.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That takes me back.
Yeah, it takes you back to the day, man. IOD days.
Mm-hmm. Radio days.
When we worked on a real radio station, it was like not doing all the, talking about the same ball games all day over and over again. Let's see. Now, let me find one of the other ones. From way back. Oh, here it is.
Wow.
Same era, right?
Yeah.
Don't my songs all stink the same?
Yes, they do.
They stink. They smell real bad, honey. So does Downtown Bobby
Also,
Brown.
like, The Underwear World is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Do I got that? I bet you I do. The Underwear World of Jacques Cousteau. Oh, boy. Yeah, let's hear from him again. Ken Block. Let's see. Underground World.
Yeah, the Underwear World is the best one.
Maybe it's under Jacques Cousteau. There are 4 of them in here?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? I don't see any of them. The Underwear World.
I didn't put any in the DCS, so.
Oh, so they're not in here. They're on my disc. Then I gotta get busy on that. What's the Underwear World of JC?
Tonight on the National Geographic Special.
Is that
After
it?
14 months at sea, Jacques Cousteau observes subtle changes in his crew's behavior.
As we enter the Sargassosi, I notice that Philippe has removed his wetsuit and slipped into a provocative surteddy with matching French cut panties. I am aghast, but the entire crew of the Calypso has suddenly changed into peekaboo lingerie and push-up brasiers.
Don't miss the season premiere of The Underwear World of Jacques Cousteau.
The sea is a strange mistress, and so is my first mate, Jean-Claude.
Bonjour, mon capitaine.
Uh-oh.
Tonight on PBS.
I told it was in there, and you're not believing me. And you know who put it in there? Yours truly.
Yes, you did.
Because I've got in my drawers over here, if I dare say that. I don't have much in my drawers, but I do have all those ACN discs.
Jolly good.
And we got till the end of March for that other thing to start where they're going to be sending all the stuff online. And oh, boy, I guess they're going to be trolling online again. I don't know how that's going to work out. Yeah, Chicken Neck can handle it.
We'll find a way.
Well, what's wrong with that? Why are you like sticking up for him now? I mean, I love him like crazy, and his bald spot especially, Chicken Neck, but I don't think it's that much of a job, is it?
We'll see. I'll see what it entails and let you know.
You'll see the entrails? Yeah.
I'll see how daunting it is.
I don't want to see his entrails, I guarantee you that. One can only imagine. Okay, what do we got here on the poll? What sucks most about AM radio? And we got 1206. Well, we got over the 1200 hump, and we got 54 minutes to get 94 votes. That's not even 2 a minute. You people ought to be able to do that for us. You made us number 1 again in the middle of a grotesque, a death knell, a rating book for QM in the fall book. Death knell, grotesque, man. We got hosed bad in the sports segments. But they made us number 1 again, the audience out there. And they always come through for us. The callers never come through, and you want to know why? Because there aren't any. And that's, well, there might be one. QAM, hello.
Hi, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking. See, like I said, there aren't any. Now, didn't he sound like a real caller right in the beginning?
No.
Oh. Why, who did he sound like? A schmuck?
Oh, it didn't sound like one of them, but yeah.
A different one.
Yeah,
well,
can I speak to Neil?
In other words, that was the first tip-off, right?
Yes.
That he was like that. My first tip-off was when I saw that green light blinking that there was somebody on there. And I thought to myself, oh, what kind of an idiot is this going to be? Well, if you would let the people speak for crying out loud and talk for more than 1 second, right, we'd really be in deep trouble. Jim Loeb. Bush continues to unite the world against him from the Inter Press Service. He unites the world against him. ... Just like that online thing with ... Did we ever find out what it does that and won't print the word out?
No.
Well, Eric has better explain that to us because he had that link on there, but I don't, Link Ray. Wasn't that amazing that Link Ray and the Rayman and Rumble? Boy, what a memory. Just like, what was it I remember last hour?
I don't know. I don't remember.
About my first guest on KAT, Garrett Sloan.
Yeah.
See, it was already booked for Dick Side, who was doing the show, and then they canned his ass, and they hired me to do 3 to 6. And then they let me do 2 to 6 because I was doing so well on KAT, and they raised me all the way up from $225 a week to $275 a week. Wow! Thanks a lot, Eucola. That was Eucola Katzenstein, whose husband Frank was long since dead, but there was a big picture of him on the wall, Frank Katzenstein. Oh, I think this is the. Did I just hear that sound? I think it's the alarm.
Uh-oh.
The fire drill. Maybe I'm imagining. Anyway, Jim Loeb says, despite 2 years of a concentrated effort by Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and her public diplomacy major Doma Karen Hughes to boost Washington's global image, more people around the world have an unfavorable opinion of U.S. policies than at any time in recent memory, according to a new BBC poll released on Monday. The survey, which polled more than 26,000 people in 25 countries, including the U.S., between November and January, found that a 49% plurality overall believes that the U.S. is playing a mainly negative role in the world today.
Absolutely.
compared to less than a third, 32%, who said Washington's influence was mainly positive. And in the 18 countries where respondents were asked the same question each of the past 2 years, the latest poll found a substantial drop in the percentage who said they viewed U.S. influence as positive, from 40% in 2005 to 36% last year to 29% in 2007. According to world public opinion these days, the U.S. government hardly seems to be able to do anything right, said Stephen Cull, director of the University of Maryland's Program of International Policy Attitudes, PIPA, P-I-P-A, PIPA, which along with Canada-based GlobeScan conducted the survey. Can I take a peep at your PIPA? Germany and Indonesia, where nearly 3 out of 4 respondents said they had a mainly negative opinion of U.S. influence, were the least favorable, while 69% of French and Turkish respondents agreed. The sharpest drops in positive ratings over the past year were found in Poland, 62% in 2006 compared to 38% in 2007. Indonesia, 40 to 21%. The Philippines, 85 to 72, and in India, 44 to
about 30, man.
%. Respondents in the U.S. also showed greater opposition to their government's policies than in previous years, according to the survey. Another Washington Post ABC News poll released on the eve of last night's State of the Union speech to Congress found that 65% of respondents opposed the so-called surge of more than 21,000 additional U.S. troops to Iraq, while 48% called the war the most important issue today, which is why we didn't talk about it too much. Well, there's Dick Cheney.
Vote overwhelming.
Oh, my God. The findings of the BBC poll echo those of another major survey of 14 foreign countries that released last June by the Pew Research Center's Global Attitudes Project. It found that Washington's global image had slipped over the previous year, especially in Europe and Asia, as well as predominantly Muslim countries, and that Washington's continuing intervention in Iraq appeared to be the main cause. The new BBC poll found that the most negative views were evoked by policies pursued by the Bush administration in connection with its global war on terror and the Middle East. Nearly 3 out of 4 overall, 73% say they disapproved of Washington's role in the Iraq War. Opposition was especially intense in Egypt, France, and Lebanon, where more than 3 out of 4 respondents said they strongly disapproved. Khabdir and Dreher, they said to Bush. Whatever that means. At the same time, more than 2 out of 3, 68% overall, said the U.S. military presence in the Middle East provokes more conflict than it prevents. More than 4 out of 5 respondents in Latin American countries, Argentina, Brazil, and Mexico, and in two mainly Muslim countries, Egypt and Indonesia, took that position. Conversely, only 17% overall said they thought Washington's military presence exercised a stabilizing influence in the Middle East. The most positive views on this question were found in Nigeria, the only country where a plurality said it was stabilizing, 49%, the Philippines, 41%, and Kenya, 40%. Can you believe it? Perhaps not coincidentally, the same 3 countries are the only ones, aside from the U.S. itself, where majorities of respondents said Washington's influence in the world was mainly positive. On related issues, 67%, 2/3 of all respondents said they disapproved of Washington's handling of detainees at Guantanamo, while only 16%, concentrated in Kenya, Nigeria, India, and the Philippines and U.S., said they approved. Nearly 2/3, 65% of respondents overall said they disapproved of U.S. policy during last summer's war between Israel and Lebanon's Hezbollah, compared to 21%, again concentrated in the same 5 countries who said they approved. How do you like that?
All right.
So my best advice, if you are going to get your passport in hand and travel around the world, is say, hey, I'm Canadian, eh? How's it going? How's it going, Hosier? That's the way to do it. That's what I do. I wear my Canadian cap and my toque and all that other stuff. Got to get a toque.
Absolutely.
You're going to puke if you don't have your toque.
Absolutely.
12 minutes out. Speaking of puke.
Earlier in the day.
Thank you, Wolf Blitzer.
There's Wolf Blitzkrieg. He's enough to make me puke. Hey, Wolf, back to Shoal, sweetheart. Get lost. You and Jew Lieberman. Get out of my face. The 2 of them are enough to make me anti-Semitic, you know. 1,217 votes. We need 83 in 48 minutes. Boy, it's going to be tense. What do you think, Chris? Can we do it?
Definitely.
Well, give it a shot. Give it a big push.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait. What's the rope for? Don't come here with the rope. Put the rope around my neck. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on.
When we first arrived in hell, oh, Saddam Hussein said,
where in the name of blind Mary Ingalls am I?
Can't you tell you're in hell? Now you're the infidel.
Hey, hold on a second, but this doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see. Last thing I remember, it was Saturday. Yeah, I was learning my New Year's Eve recipes from Rachel Ray. Then that's where it gets fuzzy. I was learning French with my bear Muzzy, till they took me away. Your last day. I had my city cup full of juice when I saw them bring me the news. been a little heinous, but I saw that and I got a tightening in my anus. And then they took me away.
That's baloney.
I gave them one last smirk, and then I felt the jerk.
You can apologize.
No more smirk, then nothing else would work. So long, Saddam Hussein. That's one big knot, holy hopping snot. Here I just get shot. When he first arrived in hell, oh, Saddam Hussein said, where in the name of Lindsay Lohan's underpants am I? Can't you tell? You're in hell, now you're the infidel. Ooh, it's very hot, I can tell you that. Holy crap. Saddam Hussein. Oh, wait a minute, this is cool. I can light my cigar right off my own finger.
That's what I just did during the last break. Holy whatever he said. We got 12:38, and that's pretty great. We need 62 votes for that 1,300. You people can do it. We got 41 minutes. In fact, you notice how the ratio is like narrowing, whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that means. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I beg your pardon?
Is that how you do it?
We'll get it done. Just we almost never fail, unless you set some kind of goal. Like, we need 2,500 votes by 1:30 or some stupid crap like that. We can't do that. Here's an article by Andrew Bard Schmuckler. Remember him?
Who?
I don't know. I think it's too long. I don't think I'm going to get the whole thing. Nah, I never get that in by the break. See, you gotta pace it, man. Oh, here's one. This is disgusting. A Hialeah man faces up to 4 life sentences after a Broward jury yesterday convicted him of sexual battery with a weapon and several other charges stemming from an October 2005 attack in Davie. When I hear about sexual battery, it reminds me of Sally Fitz.
Yeah.
Why? A woman was forced into her apartment by an assailant who then raped it at her and forced her to write him a check for $1,400. Anthony Roberts, 26, was arrested minutes after he tried to cash the check. He pleaded not guilty to the charges. That's a real rocket scientist, okay? I'm going to rape you, and then write me a check, and then I'll go try and cash it real fast. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Sentencing scheduled for February the 23rd. Lots of bad stuff in Hialeah. All that stuff out there at Westland, man, where they're doing the limbo ride. Mm-hmm. Be real careful next time you folks go to the tea room in the Westland. That's just my best advice to you. I think that hanky-spanky is still going on over there. On the morning after President Bush's State of the Union speech, today's New York Times reports on Iraq's fragile democracy. Says the raw story. It's pretty raw. Iraq's parliament in recent months has been at a standstill, Damien Cave reports. Nearly every session since November has been adjourned because as few as 65 members made it to work, even as they and the absentees earned salaries and benefits worth about $120 grand. Part of the problem is security, but Iraqi officials also said they feared that members were losing confidence in the institution and in the country's fragile democracy. As chaos has deepened, Parliament's relevance has gradually receded. Let me read that again. As chaos has deepened, Parliament's relevance has gradually receded. Deals on important legislation, most recently the oil law, now take place largely out of public view, with Parliament, when it meets, rubber stamping the final decisions. As a result, officials said vital legislation involving the budget, provincial elections, and amendments to the Constitution remain trapped in a legislative process that processes nearly nothing. Except maybe that cheese, that Kraft cheese, that crack processed cheese, food product. American officials long hoped that the Parliament could help foster dialogue between Iraq's increasingly fractured ethnic and religious groups, but that has not happened either. Goaded by American leaders, frustrated and desperate to prove that Iraq can govern itself, senior Iraqi officials have clearly had enough. Mr. Mashadani, Mr. Mishagoyim, said Parliament would soon start firing members, fining members, $400 for every missed session, and replace the absentees if they fail to attend a minimum amount at a time. Some of Iraq's more seasoned leaders say attendance has been undermined by a widening sense of disillusionment about Parliament's ability to improve Iraqis' daily life. Gornish Telfin is what they say. Isn't that what they say in Iraq, Gornish Telfin?
All the time.
Too much Jew talk, man. You better cut it down. The country's dominant issue, security, is controlled almost exclusively by the American military and the office of the Prime Minister. Every bombing like yesterday, which killed 88 people at a downtown market, suggests to some that Parliament's laws are irrelevant in the face of sprawling chaos and the government's inability to stop it. All the more reason why we got to just give him a little more time. Give the Bushmeister a little more time. What do you say?
No.
I better take a drink of your Fresca. It's a real machaya.
You can apologize.
I'm not going to. 1,244 votes on the poll. We need 56 votes in 37 minutes. You do the math. Can you do it? Man, I'm gagging. 12:46. See, they're coming in like little chunks. I think that's what I got in my throat now, little chunks. What sucks most about AM radio? Oh, there's your president, speaking of
In the newsroom,
things that
speaking
suck.
of what sucks. Of the president's speech from different ends of the political spectrum. Babe Buchanan
And look who was shaking his hand there, Dennis Kucinich, and he's smiling. Dennis, you should have socked him right in the jaw, okay? And now John Kerry's going to speak in the Senate. Won't that be exciting, huh? You want to hear John Kerry speak? Hey, that's what they said, you know. That's what they said. And he just see, the thing about him is that here's a decorated Vietnam War veteran, and they swift-voted him, and he kind of like sat back and took it, you know. He just took it because he had the balls to tell it like it was during one of the most grotesque periods of time in the history. Although I will say this, I think this there aren't as many dead soldiers yet. There's only about 3,063 now only, as compared to 58,000 who came home in body bags from Vietnam. But here's a war against a country that didn't invade us, wasn't a threat to us, wasn't going to kill nobody, had nothing to do with 9/11, nothing to do with Al-Qaeda, and the public is like, like that. And the polls say this, and the polls say that, and it's like, you know, well, what's the use? Am I correct? I think I'm absolutely correct, I'm right on top.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I got my thumb right on the heart of the issue. And that's because the public and the congressman. Now we got a Democratic Congress in there. Let's see them start to grow up here, baby. Let's see them start screaming bloody murder and yelling. That's what they should have been doing last night. They should have been getting on their feet and yelling, murderer, torturer, butcher. They should have been going crazy like Al Pacino there. Like Al Pacino.
Attica.
I'm dying over here.
Dog Day Afternoon with Fredo.
Right.
John Cazale. Now, is there any other movie we ever saw him in, or was that pretty much it?
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, greaseball goombas come out of the woodwork.
I know.
What?
That he's been in other movies. But I forget what they were. I don't know.
Johnny Fontaine will never get that movie. I don't care how many Dago, Guinea.
He's also dead, the guy that played Jack Walsk. He died not that long ago, remember?
Yes.
Well, let's stop at Clemenza. He's dead.
Right.
Abe Vigoda, Tessio, he's dead.
No, he's not.
He's not?
He's not, and he's never gonna.
Get out of here.
People have been saying that he was dead for years and he refuses to die, just to make a point.
I heard he sleeps with a fish. And what's his name? Marlon Brando, of course, is dead. They buried him in like 14, 15 caskets they had like tied together.
You know, he was not in that many movies, actually. The Deer Hunter.
Who wasn't?
John Cazale.
Oh.
The Godfathers, The Deer Hunter, Dog Day, as you know, The Conversation, and The American Way.
Well, The Conversation with Gene Hackman, boy, is that a ponderous movie. Did you ever see that?
No, I heard that it was ponderous, so I avoided
cable, and it goes on and on. It's a guy, like some kind of secret agent. He's listening in on these conversations, and he's in a truck, you know, and he's monitoring, and it's pretty boring.
Ooh.
26 past 1 at QAM. We got 12:49 on the poll. We need 51 votes in 34 minutes. If this audience can't do that for us, it's going to be a sad day. It'll be a losing day at Woodbine, man. I'll tell you that. We'll find a bad machine.
You can do it!
I think they can. And let me ask you, if we get 1,300...
You like it?
I would love it.
Yes.
Ooh, frosty nads.
Tessio's alive.
Screw you!
This is the story of a coach named Nick Saban. He is the guy who just deserted the Dolphins. Seems he doesn't care what other people might call him. He sunk another nail into the Dolphins' coffin. It didn't take long for Nick to decide he was gonna leave and coach the Crimson Tide. Whenever he was asked about it, he always lied. We watched Nick take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. So long, take the money and run. No longer on the sidelines in that stupid hat. He quit the team and now they're feeling so flat. I wonder what Wayne Huizenga really thinks of that. The Dolphins are a sinking ship and Nick is a rat.
Is there anything you want to do about it?
Every excuse Nick gives for leaving sounds lame.
It doesn't make sense.
A whole lot of money to coach football games.
That's baloney.
And if it was you, you know that you do the same.
Forget it.
I guess that's why Nick doesn't feel any shame.
Good for you.
Go on, take the money and run.
Listen to me.
So long, take the money and run.
How old are you?
Go on, take the money and run.
Goodbye.
So long, take the money and run.
You are a mother.
Screw y'all. Go on.
Oh, that was
take
good.
the money and run.
That sure fit in there just beautifully, didn't it? What a potty mouth old bag she is. But you're right,
Yes.
she's a real hoot. She's my kind of judge. 133. Oh, there's those 2 missing kids again that aren't missing anymore, which I'm really tired of that story. Okay,
You mean those ones that liked it, according to Bill O'Reilly?
As a matter of fact, don't you remember when Bill had that kid on, he asked him...
You like it?
Yeah, that was the first thing he asked. 1,261 votes. We
Maybe
got
I
27 minutes for 39 votes. Oh, that should be easy. Should be a piece of cake. Cake? So anyway, Tessio is still alive, according to my Godfather expert out there in Radioland. What? Why, did you look it up?
Fish. No, I don't have to look it up.
Abe Vigoda?
He's immortal. He's never going to die.
Well, I sure wish we had some of those drop-ins. Like where he says, we hit Bruno Tattaglia at 3 o'clock this morning. It's just the way he said it. He was great. He's a good actor. He's still alive. How do you like that?
Good gravelly
Well, let me
voice.
tell you.
Well, let me tell you something, my Mick friend. This is legitimate. I swear.
How do you do that?
Local Brassi sleeps with the fishes.
Oh, it's magic. Even if you want to conjure up Mo Green, you say, hey, let's hear some Mo.
Do you know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Oh, Paulie won't see him no more.
She was beautiful. She was young. She was innocent. She was the greatest piece of ass I ever had, and I've had them all over the world.
Not smart, not like everybody says, but dumb, but smart, and I want the state.
You're taking this very personal.
I hate to say it, but up in Marlon Brando, you said that the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, Sonny, James Caan. He was great. He was hysterical. When he bit his
Santino was
hand,
the best.
when he bit his hand, when Connie was getting beat up.
Yeah. I'll wait. 1,263 votes on the poll. Yeah, I got to see the. I was getting 85 messages last night about the fact that there are all these different versions of it. Probably of any movie that's ever been made, there are more different versions available on VHS and DVD of The Godfather than any other one. There's the trilogy. There's the whatever. What's that other one called?
The Bilogy.
The Godfather Saga.
Yeah.
Saga. Whatever. Anyway, let's get back to this thing, okay? So Fish is still alive. That's good. Thank God he don't sleep with the fishes, like Luca Brasi. It's an old Sicilian message. Now, how about Sicily, Sicilia? Don't you want to go there? I was talking last week about that, remember? Corleone.
Yeah. Why not?
Corleone. Maybe, what's his name?
Have some olio.
Chiamo Vitelli. The old man will still be sitting there. I don't think Apollonia is going to be sitting there. She's kind of gone to pieces.
Yeah. ¿A dónde va? Fabrizio.
Prepara la macchina. 1,264. Let me say it again. It's not Italian. Donde? It's not Italian. It's dove. That's why it didn't make any sense. I don't
he
understand
spoke
that.
crappy Italian anyway, didn't he?
Who did? Al Pacino?
Michael, yeah.
Well, last time I checked, he has a vowel movement on the end of his name. Al Pacino's
I don't mean
Italiano
nothing.
as a kid.
I don't mean nothing.
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
Not if you're raised here.
Maybe he was looking for Cinquanta Banana. I haven't seen that guy again, or his pasty, ugly wife, thank God. I hope they're not there today. Everybody get on your knees and pray Neil gets a really good machine today at Woodbine.
Maybe he only usually goes on Monday, Tuesday.
Saturday, Wednesday. 1,264 on the poll. We need 36 votes in 24 minutes. I have a feeling this audience is going to come through. I bet you they're leaning on it right now. As soon as they get off their knees after praying for the old man in the machine, I think they're leaning on it. Do you think so? I can feel it. I can smell it. Maybe that's what you're smelling in the studio. Maybe it's the stench of all that rotten equipment you got in that studio that you're surrounded with.
That could be.
Well, you know something? We officially announced today we just don't care. We don't care.
That's right.
We can make our own show here. We don't need any assistance from engineering, from the sales department, from the management department, any of that. Only from Miguel. Seriously, next time if I ever see him again, I'm going to give him a kiss right on the leaps.
I'll warn him.
He'll leap. He'll leap right out of the way. Now I'll give him a kiss on the cheek. I think he's a little bit. He couldn't handle that. You think?
No.
Well, why not?
He'll run like a son of a bitch.
No, seriously, why do you say that? Now, in Europe, I told you, all the young guys, everybody, old guys, young guys, they kiss each other on both cheeks when they see each other. Both cheeks.
Where in Italia?
That's right.
And Francia?
In Italy, especially. In Spain.
The homo country.
In España.
They don't kiss on the cheek in Spain.
The hell they don't.
I know some Spaniards, and they never try to kiss me on the cheek.
I'll tell you where they did kiss, though. Oh, brother!
Between
you gotta limit. Just don't even go there, okay? This is gonna be just like that Kinney and Bo morning show this morning, okay? Johnson, my ass. That's all I have to say to that. Look at there. There's Joe Biden, and there's Chris Dodd, and there's Chuck Hagel, the Foreign Relations Committee, bada beep, bada boop, bada bop, and all that.
More time give his Iraq plan to send more troops there. More time. Well, 12 hours later, at 9 a.m., the Senate Foreign Relations Committee gavelled in a hearing where they were going to discuss and debate a resolution that they just passed. The vote was 12 to 9. One Republican crossed over, a Republican sponsor of that resolution, Chuck Hagel. And essentially, what this resolution, non-binding, symbolic resolution says is that it is not in the national interest of the United States to send more troops to Iraq. They changed the language slightly. There was a word in there, escalate. It had said that it was not in the national interest.
So they passed a non-binding resolution. You know what it means?
Nothing.
Bada beep, bada boop, bada bop.
Crap you can unwrap. All the slime, all the time.
See here, I ain't never said no. I get very annoyed about me saying doy. I ain't never said the doy. If they continue to say that I get the doy, then they ought to pay me by the doy. Doy, 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 doy. Doy, 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 doy.
Ain't got no job! I'm an unemployed slob! I'm the voice of the people!
Enough with the doy, you man. I'm getting tired of hearing it everywhere I go.
You always say doy.
I don't say doy. But this woman on you will listen to me by my career tonight.
144-1602, Mad Dog coming up at the top of the hour. We got 1,280 votes, and I thought we were going to slide right in there to 1,300, and all of a sudden it just like stopped. It's like we got caught in the deep freeze. 1,280. How do you like that?
All right.
No, not all right. We need 20 votes in 15 minutes. Shouldn't be that muy difícil, but nevertheless. Get on it, folks. Be really disappointed. It would break my old heart. Anybody believe it? No. No, I'm just making it up, but it would be disappointing. And you know what I've been forgetting to remind this audience almost all day today?
What have you been forgetting?
Number one, damn it!
That. Somebody faxes this in. It says, this news is a little bit old, but I thought you might find it interesting. Also, they've got a big billboard advertising Man-Cow in Moral Gables, so I turned it on right in front of the billboard, heard nothing but static. At night, their signal is non-existent in Dade County. I can hear WABC from New York better than WMEN or WFTL, which also have, point, like that. And then here's another one. It says, broadcaster William Beege has filed a lawsuit against James Crystal Broadcasting, owned by Jim Hilliard, claiming trademark infringement over use of the name, Man Talk. Radio Inc. has learned that James Crystal allegedly contacted Beige for permission to use the name, which Beige has used in radio shows and more recently online. Beige, I don't know what his name is, claimed to have declined permission, but the company went ahead and branded WMENAM anyway, formerly WJNA West Palm Beach, as Man Talk. I thought this show was Man Talk. Isn't that what I talk about most of the time, is Man Talk?
Right.
According to Beach's attorney, the suit is about James Crystal Broadcasting's violation of the Florida Deceptive and Anti-Trade Practices Act, which will potentially award BG $10,000 for each time for each time the name Man Talk was used on the air, which could add up to millions and millions in fines, zillions and trillions and gazillions of dollars. When contacted by Radio Inc., James Crystal, VPGM Steve Lappa, and Norma Kent says everything he touches turns to a dung. Steve Lappa said that he and his company don't think a suit over the right to a word has much merit. Lappa wouldn't comment further because of the ongoing litigation in the matter. Hearing scheduled for this Friday. Now, wasn't it, I bet you Chris knows this, what's the word that Pat Riley had? Three-peat, isn't that the word?
Yes.
And didn't he sue a bunch of people, and he won the suit, I believe, over the word three-peat, which he invented, three-peat.
Well, I don't know if he invented it, but he trademarked it. I don't know if
he trademarked it, and he sued people, and whatever. Three-peat. How many cigarettes you got in your pocket? 3, Pete. And we got 1284, and we need some more. You know, this is not. It looked like it was going to be a no drainer. 1286. We need 14 votes in 13 minutes. Should be a breeze, shouldn't it? They finessed a breeze. 1286. Well, we'll see. We'll see whether the audience comes through or whether there's a premature evaluation. Peter Flom on commondreams.org writes a victim's response to 9/11's aftermath. He says, I'm a victim of 9/11. I was in the building when the plane hit. Compared to some people, I was lucky. I wasn't injured. I kept my job. I got home easily. But compared to the vast majority of Americans, I'm a victim. I had glass in my hair. I lost a year's work and some irreplaceable items. My family went crazy for a while, wondering if I was okay. My kid had nightmares. You explain to a 5-year-old why, in his words, they crashed into the building on purpose, or reply to, I thought pilots were good people. But I'm a victim another way. I share part of this victimhood with all other Americans. I'm a victim not of terror, but of the so-called war on terror. I'm a victim of government that is out of control. I'm a victim of crushing national debt. I'm a victim because I live in a country that went from having the sympathy of the world to one that is a pariah, an outcast among nations, a rogue state. I'm a victim because now I have to watch what I say. I'm a victim because my rights are violated, not by some nebulous and inimical group of terrorists, but my own government. They don't speak for me, but another way I don't share this other victimhood. My victimhood is being abused. I've watched for years as my government, our government, has whittled away my rights, stolen my freedoms, and wrecked the Constitution in the name of a false security. I've watched and watched and watched as they've used my name, my victimhood, to make me a victim once again. They don't speak for me. So I'll post this diary and I will take action. I will volunteer, I'll give money, I'll make a difference. This is my country, this is my victimhood, and I will not have it abused. I'm no martyr, I have no death wish. I hope that no terrorist ever strikes anywhere again. But the founders of this country knew what they were doing. They wanted freedom. They demanded freedom. They put their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor on the line to win freedom, and now it's reduced to this. But it is worse even than this. It would be one thing to pay too heavy a price to increase our safety, but we paid the price for nothing. We've arrested thousands of people and let them go. We've spied on our own citizens and found out nothing. We've allied ourselves with torturers, and yet we are not safe.
Abu Ghraib.
Indeed, by making our enemies unite, we've made ourselves weaker and our enemies stronger. This victim demands an end to the war on terror that is really a war on America. Impeach the president, writes Peter Flom, a statistician at a nonprofit research company, independent consultant, lives in Manhattan with his wife and 2 kids. Impeach the president, to which I would say,
absolutely correct, sir.
Amen, sir. 1286. Is this thing stuck or what? How about Elvis and Stuck on You? I bet you got
Reload
that.
it, yeah, I do.
Reload it? Well, we got 1290?
No, I don't know.
We got 1286. It's still stuck there on the same number. That can't be possible, could it?
I'm having some connection timeout problems over here.
Well, that's pretty interesting because all of a sudden when we need 1,300 votes, it's like this thing is ungepatchked, as they say in Denmark. It's just been stuck on there. Like, you know that's not possible. Maybe Eric has frozen it just to make it a little more exciting. I think Mr. Freeze? There's Elvis and Stuck on You, baby. Get a crane. Get a crowbar, please.
You can shake an apple tree.
Okay, I think there's something wrong with this thing. Yeah, it's stuck at 1286. And you know damn well that they're... Huh?
I'll ask
you know
Eric.
that is not legit. You'll do what? Yeah, tell her, get with it. Somebody is potchking around with our damn computer on there. You know it's got to be an act of something. Act of the devil.
Ask him if the poll is stuck.
Ask him if his poll is stuck. 1286, and it's just sitting there. And I'm refreshing and refreshing, like that, and it ain't doing a damn thing. Not good. That's not a good omen for my afternoon at Woodbine. I may have to go to start with the nickel machines. I just love watching those people. I realize that a lot of people are schleppers, and they are entitled to have a good time, whatever. You know, it's all relative, yada, yada, yada. But I just don't know about that, you know. And the 2-cent machines. You ever play the 2-penny machines?
No, I didn't know they had any.
Oh, yeah, they are jammed. This thing is stuck, man. It's still got 1286. So somehow, some way, somebody has put the evil spirits into our poll there. Don't you think?
Put the whammy on it?
Maybe they're looking at those old shows from Whammy. That would do it for me.
Whammy!
God, it sucked. Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Marvin. That's another one of your good friends, Marvin. I almost forgot about him. Marvin the Raw Man. You know, one thing he had in common with Defoe, let me tell you.
John Killer.
That's what I heard. That's just a rumor going around town. So what sucks the most about AM radio, we're still 1288. Now, in other words, you really think they're coming in that slowly now? 1288? We got 12 to go in 8 minutes? I mean, it's a possibility still. But, boy, we are really up against the wall. Ever been up against the wall? 1291. We need 9 in 8 minutes. See, I think these people got lulled into a false insecurity. I think it's Chris's fault.
That's it.
I think if Chris would have come on there and really started threatening these people with, like, physical harm, and believe me, you could do it. Chris is going to come to your house and sit on you.
Because we're not taking calls.
I beg your pardon?
Because we're not taking calls.
WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Now
we're going to get calls now.
Now we'll get 13.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
We did it.
It stinks. In Miami.
Got our 13. I'm going to win $1 zillion today. You'll see. Good machine. All right.
If anybody has opinion dissenting from our way, we'll place your name into the system as enemy of the state.
Absolutely.
Don't even bother to question. Just follow and obey. Everybody's turning fascist. Fascist USA. In the act of patriotism, we're watching all of you. Everyone's under suspicion, so that's what you do. This disinformation and all you mindless fools in Bush Fatherland Nation. Fascist USA. Oh, you gotta hate those Jews and Clinton liberals too. Believe everything we tell you, and the state run you. You fairy. Blood war for corporate. Fill up your Escalade. A Reuben Cheney Bush menu. Fascist USA. We don't mind to see our jobs go, but the economy's good. We're fascinated by J-Lo.
Rectum.
Don't read no stupid books. All now are embracing the Pax American way. Everybody's turning fascist. Fascist USA.
Oh my God.
Bye, bye, bye.